history isn't just what happened, it's who we are. And now you can explore Africa's incredible past like never before. Introducing the new and engaging course catalog from aelearning.net, a world-class provider of interactive e-learning focused on Africa's rich and diverse history. From the rise of ancient Nubia and the power of the Mali Empire, to the architectural wonders of Egypt and the development of astrological knowledge by the Dogon people, each self-paced course brings history to life through stunning visuals, immersive video lessons, and interactive assessments. Designed for students, educators, and lifelong learners around the world, AE Learning's courses make discovering Africa's story easier, deeper, and more engaging than ever. With AE Learning, education meets flexibility. Whether you're a student, teacher, or lifelong learner, our platform gives you access to credible knowledge, rich multimedia lessons, and tools that make learning African history engaging and unforgettable. Join thousands of learners already rediscovering Africa's past and shaping its future. Visit www.aelearning.net today. Start your journey through Africa's past today, because the story of Africa is the story of us all. AE Learning, inspiration through high-quality education.
Danful offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshe traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danful, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danful, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danful, Africa. To learn more, visit danful.africa.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror, search for who. Let me get this mic together. Thank you for joining. Hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. We got a couple of announcements. Yo, we're rolling to Senegal. We are rolling to Senegal May 9th through the 18th. May 9th through the 18th. And y'all, them TSA lines are getting better. They are getting, in fact, let me pull this up real quick, guys. Give me a second. You know, when it was all bad, you know, all the news was there, you know, everybody was talking about it. But now that the lines are moving quick now, ain't nobody saying nothing. Ain't nobody covering nothing. So I saw this today. Let me pull this up real quick. Yep, here we go. Here we go. Let me pull this up real quick. Let me share the screen. See, I don't want to hear the excuses about no TSA. TSA has straightened itself out now. Here we go. Shout out to Me Award, y'all.
I'm about to head through Clear. Like, it's not busy at all. So, yay. This is the line in the Atlanta airport at 9:30. So I think shit's back to normal. So we got through TSA in all of 5 minutes. Everything appeared normal, except for there is a lot of ICE agents at the airport today, and they're actually helping people through. So that's interesting.
Spiritually beautiful.
So thank you, ICE agents, for making the process easier. Again, thank you, ICE agents, for doing your job and making the process more seamless now as far as getting through TSA. Thank you so much, ICE agents. So hit the like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. We are rolling to Senegal May 9th through the 18th. Again, we are rolling to Senegal May 9th through the 18th. We're also going to Nigeria in August for Oshun. That is August 2nd to the 11th. Then we're going to Zanzibar in September. That's September 20th to 29th. And then we are rolling to, we're going to do Ghana and Ivory Coast in November and Sierra Leone. So if you're interested in joining, please visit Africa. Again, if you're interested in joining, please visit Africa to learn more. Without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. Hold on, guys, 1 second. Mansa. Sorry about that, guys. I'm also on daddy duty. Yeah. Let's see here. Slavery resolution under fire. Guys, this is my question. Now, if you're into symbolism, again, if you're into symbolism, hey, I guess this is a win. But what is actually going to come that's tangible from this UN resolution? Can somebody help me out? Because I can tell you right now, whether it's Democrat, whether it's Republican, I seriously doubt that reparations is going to happen. Democrats have made that clear. All right, because you already know where the Republicans stand. Democrats have made that clear that reparations ain't going to happen. So the slavery resolution, like, is it just hype? Like, what? I mean, what's coming from it? Somebody help me out. Can somebody help in the chat room? Like, what's coming from that? What's coming from it? And let me play a couple clips real quick to kind of prove my point. So we're gonna start with our favorite clip from Kamala Harris, and then we're gonna pull up the Stacey Abrams clip as well. So this is my favorite clip from Kamala Harris, because you already know where the Democrats stand. Okay, but let's pull this from the griot.
Do you support reparations for Black?
Hold on, let me share the screen. Here we go.
Do you support reparations for Black people?
Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, Black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of Black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects Black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this: any policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be.
And Elvis, Democrats, not only do they not support reparations for Black people, they support reparations for, I guess, the immigrants who were affected by ICE. Again, not excusing Trump, not at all, because I think that's crazy. White people should get reparations. I think that's crazy. But they're out here saying that the ones that were affected by ICE should get, the illegal immigrants who are affected by ICE should get reparations. Like, come on.
Clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No, because whatever benefits that Black family will benefit whatever something that's only. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No, because whatever benefits that Black family will benefit that community and society as a whole in the country. Right?
So no. The answer is no. Hold on, I got more. Because again, what happened at the UN was a great gesture. It was a great gesture. But what is going to come from it? The Maxie Waters, she out here lying. Let me pull up Maxie Waters real quick. We got to start Maxie Waters.
This business about who's the biggest, who's the best.
Y'all favorite auntie Maxine Waters. She's next.
Who's got the biggest gun? This president keeps edging that on. Yeah. You know, he's a bully. He has a bully mentality. He's over there whose gun is the biggest. And that's what you hear. This arms race is just mounting. We need someone in the presidency who not only has good sense, but understands diplomacy and understands what we need to do to have peace in this world, so that we can all look forward to the possibility that we're someday going to have a world that's about peace and justice and respect for individual liberty. And so that's what that's all about.
That's your stump speech for 2020.
That's kind of it.
Is she running?
Now with the National Coalition of Blacks for Reparations in America. In Cobra, thank you. Congressman Waters, the global reparations movement is advancing mightily on the planet. Our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean are suing the nations of Europe that had involvement in the enslavement of the Caribbean. In Europe, our brothers and sisters in London are crafting legislation. On the continent of Africa, we understand that there will be a major reparations conference in 2019, 2020. Here in America, the only federal legislation, the federal push to have this country redress the crimes against African people has been H.R. 40. And
H.R. 40, which the Black Caucus shut down themselves. And we'll get into that here shortly. H.R. 40, which the Black Caucus themselves shut down.
Now that Congressman Conyers is no longer there, we need someone to stand up and push this legislation forward. You have historically been a supporter of this legislation. we ask that you co-sponsor now, and not only co-sponsor, become an active co-sponsor. You have a relationship with the millennial, as Auntie Maxine, that no other congressperson has. And we're in Congress, personally, right now today, asking you to become more active in the road to push HR 40.
I'll be happy to do that. That's no problem. That's no problem. But let me tell you this. In order to get where we need to go on this issue and other issues, we've really got to understand that 2018 is important to taking back the House and taking back the Senate. And of course, we've got to get the White House. If we want to get to the point where we can get reparations, we've got to have the power to do that.
Y'all, we had a black president for 8 years, man. I can't take it. I can't take it, man. We had a black president for 8 years. Maxine Waters has been in office for over 30 years. Again, Maxine Waters has been in office for over 30 years. We've had a black president. We had a black president for 8 years. When Joe Biden got in office, he didn't move the reparations needle. Maxine Waters was in California. The Black Caucus shut down HB 40, which let's jump into that right now. Here we go right here.
Tonight, the leader of California's Reparations Task Force is speaking out after state lawmakers blocked two reparations-related proposals. Tonight, the leader of California's Reparations Task Force is speaking out after state lawmakers blocked two reparations-related proposals. The California Legislative Black Caucus decided to withhold those bills from moving forward. That led to a big protest at the Capitol over the weekend, as you see here. That's what the video is that you're watching right
now. Maxine Waters nowhere to be found. Maxine Waters nowhere to be found.
Now, KCRA 3 Capitol correspondent Ashley Zavala spoke with the reparations leader.
Yeah, so Ashley, what does she have to say about how this whole session ended over the weekend?
And Golston and Lisa, Camila Moore was the chairwoman of California's historic reparations task force. That group wrapped up its work last year after spending years studying the effects of slavery, racial discrimination, and its impact on Black Californians. She says she felt betrayed by the Black Caucus after it decided to block two bills she says were fundamental. She said decided to block impact on Black Californians. She says she felt betrayed by the Black Caucus after it decided to block two bills she says were fundamental for reparations.
Emotions still high after this scene at the state capitol over the weekend.
It's Black people stopping their own people from getting they reparations. Black people
still high after this scene at the state capitol over the weekend.
It's Black people stopping their own people from getting they reparations.
Reparations supporters frustrated by the Legislative Black Caucus's last-minute decision to block votes in the Assembly on proposals that would establish a state agency and state fund for reparations. The Black Caucus divided, with some saying they were afraid.
Man, it don't matter. Black Caucus, okay, state, federal. The Black Caucus blocked it, man. The Black Caucus blocked it. I mean, come on, y'all. Y'all moving the goalposts. The Black Caucus blocked it. Now, I'm going to tell you why here in a minute. The real reason why they blocked it. I'm going to tell you why, because Stacey Abrams let us know.
Of the governor's veto, while the caucus leader, Assemblymember Lori Wilson, claimed the bills did not have the votes.
I think what happened on Saturday was unconscionable.
Camila Moore led California's reparations task force that helped come up with these recommendations. She did not expect this.
What we saw was a complete betrayal by the California Legislative Black Caucus against their own constituents. They chose to prioritize their ego and their own self-interest over the people that they claim to.
Their ego and their own self-interest. And we're going to get into that here in a second with Stacey Abrams, because she let us know the reason why ain't no reparations going to happen.
To serve.
It seemed like Democratic legislative leaders were hands off about this. Do you think?
It seems like Democratic legislative leaders were hands off. Okay, it don't matter, Teddy. Like the reparations ain't coming, man. Federal, state, all right. The black caucus, whoever, the Dems, black caucus, whatever. It ain't coming, man. All right. Now, if this had anything to do with illegal immigration or LGBTQ, Maxine Waters would have been front and center. Front and center. But when it comes to reparations, she's nowhere to be found. And Maxine Waters is heavily involved in the CBC. Again, Maxine Waters is heavily involved with the Congressional Black Caucus.
They should have stepped in.
I do think that the Assembly leadership, namely the Assembly Speaker Robert Rivas, should have, intervened. In effect, he sided with the Black Caucus.
How do you, the advocates, the supporters, how do you all move forward here? What are the next steps?
The next step for us is to keep pushing.
Man, Teddy, I understand. Okay, Teddy, you're right. Still, California, congressional, federal, state, it ain't coming, man. It's not coming, okay? It's not coming, Teddy. And I'm sorry if I was wrong mixing, the federal with the state, Maxine Waters with CBC, this California Black Caucus, whatever. It ain't coming, all right? It ain't coming. Okay, like it's not coming. All right.
Hold the California Legislative Black Caucus accountable.
We tried to get a response from caucus leader Assemblymember Lori Wilson at a different reparations-related rally that she was supposed to headline at the state capitol Tuesday, but she canceled her appearance. I tried asking supporters about the situation. Do you have any thoughts that you want to share right now? They dodged the question.
Now, Assemblymember Wilson's spokesperson told us she canceled her appearance.
I've said across the board, I'm not expecting reparations from Republicans. Not at all. Again, the purpose of this show, okay, the slavery resolution was acknowledged. What's next? Because whether it's Democrat, whether it's Republican, ain't no reparations coming. Ain't no checks being signed. Now, if you're into symbology, if you're into symbolism, and if you want a symbolic victory, then yeah, what happened at the UN was great. But if a check from the U.S. government is going to come from this, it ain't going to come. And it's not a Republican or Democrat that's going to give you a check. That's the point I'm making. Guys, hit the like button.
There because she did not want to detract from the importance of that rally. As we worked on this story, we also tried to interview California Secretary of State Shirley Weber, who wrote the law that launched the Reparations Task Force years ago. She declined our request. We should note her daughter is Assemblymember Akilah Weber. She's another Black Caucus member who is under scrutiny for Saturday's actions.
Yeah, come on, y'all. Let me find Stacey Abrams real quick. Here we go. I want to find the hold on, I want to find the actual. Okay,
Parents of children
I
who
gotta
play
find the minute
Roblox.
mark. Give me a second. I gotta find
If
the
your
minute mark.
child was sexually exploited,
Oh,
abused,
what the hell was it? Fair use, fair use, fair use.
They never had it. They never had it.
The scam and I'm out. For me, it was how can I use my position? When I was 19, I got to speak at the March on Washington. Like, look, I'm gonna have a few 100,000 people listening to me. What can I talk about? Talk about jobs, justice, and peace. But I also believe
Here we go.
that
This might be it
whether
right
you
here.
have the
Like if we just showed up at the next election acting like we liked the one person we really didn't like,
can you try
all the white people be like, I don't know about this guy.
If you can try this experiment in 2023, I would be greatly appreciative.
12%.
We're 12%. We may be inching towards 13% of the population. So, and on a federal level, that's been part of the problem, that it's been a challenge. Now, I got into trouble from a lot of folks when I ran in 2018 because I specifically talked about Black people. But I also talk about Latinos, I talk about Asian Americans, because each of those communities face different challenges. But I wake up Black, I go to sleep Black, and I live Black. And for me, it is anathema to pretend that I am not who I am. I'm not always going to only talk about what we can do for Black people, but I'm always going to make certain I am thinking about how we serve the Black community. And I think it is disingenuous to walk away from it. But to your point, if people want to know why it happens because in the math, it's hard to win an election with just Black people.
Right, but the thing is, hold on, let me ask you. What's your one political opinion that you think Black people disagree with the most? Your most.
Hold on, let's go back to this.
You have to tell the truth. You can't let a lie sit out there. So you're going to see me responding when they lie. He considers any honesty about the state of race in our country to be problematic. I have written a whole piece about identity. Race matters. People, they can't mention me without mentioning I'm Black. So clearly they can see that race exists. And they cannot help but take offense when we point out that there are dimensions to our society where race is absolutely implicated. When they changed the laws in Georgia on voting in 2021, it was not because they didn't notice that more Black people, Latino people, Asian American, Pacific Islanders, and Native Americans voted in those elections. And oh, wait, what happened? Oh, we elected the first Black U.S. senator from Georgia.
That was debunked, by the way. That was debunked. But go ahead.
And you registered 800,000 new voters. 800,000 new people you registered.
We registered people of color. We've made sure people of color have an active role in our elections, and they changed the rules to make it harder for them to participate.
So the whole voter suppression agenda or narrative was completely debunked. It was completely debunked.
Participate. That's not race baiting, that's honesty. It is not my fault if you don't like what the truth is. And my responsibility is to say, if there's a challenge, what are we doing about it? So I don't just come out there and say, here are problems. I'm like, here's the problem, here's the solution, and here's what I'm willing to do to help you get there. I didn't just say there was a problem with voting. I created fair fight action to make sure that we fixed voting problems and did it the most we could. And we have more to do. But it is their goal. And when I say they, I mean anyone who uses those tropes. It is their goal to distract us from the problem. Because if they wave the flag saying that somehow we're race baiting, then what they're arguing is that there can't be legitimacy to our critique. I know my critique is right. And I know the solution. And if you weren't afraid of the solution, you would actually be having a conversation with me about the problem and not creating these distractions of trying to create a false narrative about what I'm saying.
Right. Another question is why are politicians so afraid to say that they're doing something specifically for Black people?
Like they use the cloak of poor people and people of color, the underprivileged. Why is it that you can't just come out and say, I'm doing this for Black people because Black people need it? Because so many things have been done to us throughout the history of this country. So many things.
Still ain't got your reparations, and it ain't coming. I'm sorry, a check ain't coming, whether it's Democrat or Republican.
Things have been done to us, but very little has been done specifically for us. Why do you think that is?
Because African Americans represent 12% of the population. And so if you are a traditional politician doing the math, you think if I name this group, I am going to lose other people, and I can't get, if every single Black person voted for me, this may not get me what.
Right, exactly. So there you go. They can't do anything specifically for Black people because they're worried about offending the other groups. There you go. I'm telling you, I'll do a separate show on this. If they were to give Black people, if the Democrats, especially the Democrats, because they talk about the Southern strategy, they talk about the parties flip and switch. If the Democratic Party were to give Black folks reparations, if it were to come to a vote, the biggest parties, not necessarily switch. What I'm saying, the Democratic base, the other base, I guess, whether it be other minorities and white liberals, they will switch to the Republican Party so fast, and they know it. And then people and our Black politicians will be out of a job. They will be out of a job. I'm talking about they will all these Bay Area liberals, whether Asian, Hispanic, across the board, they will all vote Republican. They out. And she's telling you guys right now. That's why they cannot do anything specifically for Black people. That's why this whole UN slavery resolution, great. If you're into symbolism, it's a win. But what's going to come from it? Nah, nothing. Feather in the hat, I guess. A certificate maybe from the UN signing something saying, hey, we're sorry, or I don't know, whatever comes from that stuff. But I'll put the link in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. Let me read these super chats first. Hex GP, thank you for the $2 holla. Passport Queen might still blame Africans for this. Gustavo, thank you for $5 holla. Shout out Dinah. Unfortunately, Ghana under fire right now. Time for FBAs to take the baton and form a pack and fund candidates that will get it done for themselves. It ain't that ain't gonna happen either. You know, as Dr. Claude Anderson said, the window to do all this stuff was during the Civil Rights Movement in 1965. That was the window to do all this. We integrated. It's pretty much over. But guys, links in the chat room if you want to call in after the conversation. Invisible Man, go ahead. Invisible Man, I can't hear you. Invisible Man. Invisible Man, you're on your Metro PCS. You're on your Getro. You got to call back. You're on your Obama phone. You got to call back. All right, Afro Man, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Yes, hello. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to everyone, depending on where you are.
Loud and clear. Go ahead. Yes.
I'm going to be very direct. My intention is not to hurt anybody's feelings, but I need to be direct.
Go ahead.
When it comes to this reparations bill, UN resolution, if you ask me, I would say that the biggest obstacle to us moving from a mere resolution to actually having reparations, the biggest obstacle in our way are FBAs. Let's be honest. Even white people, when the president of Ghana was making a speech in New York, okay, not a single white protester showed up. The protests came from African Americans. Subsequent to the UN resolution, the greatest opposition has not come from Jamaicans, has not come from people in Barbados or any of the Caribbean countries, has not come from Brazil. The biggest opposition has come from African Americans, specifically those who label themselves FBA.
Well, Afro man, if we could be specific, what's their pushback?
The pushback is that one, Africans enslaved people, and so why are they the ones leading the charge? They feel that Ghana is trying to quote unquote steal the bag.
But is that a credible critique?
How is that credible when Ghana has laid the resolution on behalf of the whole African world? It didn't lay it on behalf of Ghana.
Right, but Afro man, okay, and people are going to disagree. Well, some people are, some people aren't. There were some, not all, but there were some in that current country called Ghana. Well, it wasn't a country at that time, but in that area that's considered Ghana today, that land is considered Ghana today, there were some Africans and tribes who were complicit within the slave trade. That's just is what it is. So
that's true.
So what should be done from a Ghanaian standpoint before we start pointing fingers at the Europeans, which they're definitely complicit in America? What should Ghana do in the meantime to, I guess, rectify that? That's the
Ghana
argument.
laid the resolution. It wasn't laid by Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed didn't go to the UN. Okay, Ghana, backed by the AU, laid the resolution for the first time in the history, okay, of the African Holocaust. Okay, a resolution against that particular slave trade has been placed on the international arena.
Right, I understand that, but did Ghana also say like, "Hey, we were also complicit"? I think that's the problem. That's where the pushback's coming from, Afro man.
Okay, all right. Okay, when the Jews, when the
UN,
Afro
man, I'll give you an example. Benin Republic came out and said, "Hey, we apologize. You know, we were complicit in the slave trade, even though it was considered the home back then." So I think again, the argument is, if Ghana is going to lead this thing, Ghana needs to first say like, "Hey, there were Africans in Ghana. There were tribes in Ghana that were complicit." I think that's what FBA is saying.
And you think that would satisfy someone like Tariq Nasheed and his FBAs? It's not gonna do anything about that. But my point is this. Okay, this is not the first UN resolution against a crime against humanity. The Jewish Holocaust also has a UN resolution. Nobody asked Israel to first confess that there were Jews who betrayed other Jews and sold them out to Hitler. Nobody asked Israel.
You are correct. You're absolutely correct about that. That's a great point.
Yeah. So why is it that when it comes to our Holocaust, we always have to pinpoint the black people, okay, who did it? We always have to say, okay, but there were black Americans who owned slaves as well. There were this who did that. Why we always have to, point our hands when other people don't have to do that? Okay. Just today, Tariq Nasheed on his YouTube platform came out now with a video, and I actually think that Tariq Nasheed knows that he's just talking BS and he's making money from it. I think he's intelligent enough to know that it's just BS. Did you watch the video he put out today?
I did not. I don't watch it. I really don't watch the Nasheed.
The caption is, "Ghana is hijacking Juneteenth." That's his. This is not what he's doing. Ghana is hijacking Juneteenth. And it sounds fun.
But that's why I don't watch him. That's why I don't watch.
And I'm
Go
saying,
ahead. Go ahead.
he knows, okay, he knows that the people who follow him are not really that intelligent, okay, they don't really travel, okay, but he's making money from this. He says that Ghana is now hijacking Juneteenth because of a number of events, because of a number of events that are taking place in Ghana in celebration of Juneteenth. He never mentioned the fact that many of these events are actually organized by African Americans living in Ghana. Okay,
True.
It's not
True.
organized by the government of Ghana, but he hid this from his audience. And you read the comments. Oh, they're now grabbing the Juneteenth bag. Oh, they're now taking our bag. They're now, he knows that he's just making money from this. I don't even think he believes his own BS. That's what I think.
All right, let me pass the mic. Anna Morales, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that shit's kind of funny. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So here's the thing. I wanted to back up, but he already mentioned the Jewish point, and again,
Right.
I'm not gonna
He made a great point with that. He does.
Yeah.
I think the reality is Jews are more organized and have more influence and power here in America than Black people, and so
And
they can move forward with some type of claim and Holocaust remembrance without having to mention the actual Jews that sold out. Black people in America, we just don't have that power when it comes to. I mean, we gave that power up. Like I said, the time to do all this was back in the 60s, but we wanted civil rights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and
yeah,
I
go
would say for
half of us wanted civil rights, brother. Half.
All right, or Negro, you'll get the mic will pass to you soon. Go ahead, Anton Morales. Anton Morales, you got a minute and a half. Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, I would say that again. I'd say because of the Jew, they're even a bigger minority. But even more is that one thing you mentioned is that probably the civil rights era could have been the greatest time to do this. But even the big thing is that somebody mentioned this point long ago is that they were not as organized, and I'm gonna say we, but because some people don't consider us Black. If you're African, that's a whole different topic. Point is that organization matters, right? And the thing is that I'm looking at this. The Ghana, I did make a resolution framework. They did like a legal precedent. I don't think, if we're being intellectually honest, we shouldn't expect them to get reparations from that because they made it clear it was it was our legal framework, a legal precedent first and foremost. That wasn't going to get people reparation. But if you accepted it was, again, slavery at the time was a crime against humanity, and that can get passed, then that's a good start. What happens after that is going to depend on whether they agree or not. Now, I also want to say, I always make a clear distinction. There's FBAs, then there's African American or Black American. I make a distinction because FBA to me are like a cult. Is that we'll blame Africans, tethers, but in this situation we're seeing, like the Black Caucus, that was people of African American descent who are been in the US for generations.
Correct. I agree. So when it comes to this, the caucus, black caucus, all tethers, like them Black, the majority still Black Americans. So
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And that's my point, is that I think that's why I just look at this and it's like, I don't know if it's a psyop with these FBAs, because I always wonder is why you can hate Africans as much as you want, but at the end of the day, in this situation here, they can't. Africans are a minority in the Black community alone, now even more than 10%, and most of those are from one nation or two. So they cannot block you as much as you want to believe. They cannot block you. They cannot.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
So I guess I just don't get it, like, because at this time I'm not gonna say they don't have leadership. It's not leadership. Leadership is there. Leadership exists, but leadership also has to be visible, and more importantly, it has to actually be organized. And I think this, like the point with the Jews, as examples, that organization has to is the. That's why, like you mentioned, Dr. Clyde Anderson, he mentions most of these points. So I'm just really saying the same thing. Organization matters, and the thing is with the organization, I always say you don't need everybody. You just need a certain percentage. 10% of them are going to be probably the leaders. Well, 30% are probably going to be the intellectual. Those are your economists. Those are your historians. Those are the people who are going to be the boring people who are actually studying this stuff and actually can make things move forward. All those are the people that are more important than anything. And the thing is that do those people have a space in the Black community regardless? Because those are the people not going to get the spotlight, but those are the people that are going to be able to organize and actually move things forward. Those are the people who are actually going to get things done because they understand how America works. They understand the economics. They understand. They're basically your intellectual class. And I think one thing that I will say from the Jew, I'll end it here. The Jews have a respect for their intellectual class, and that's why they're able to organize very well. They're 10% are the leaders, but only 30% of the intellectual class. And those speak for the rest, and they set up things so that for the rest it can scale. I don't see that in a lot of communities, not only Black America or African America, it doesn't matter. It's not only that. It's just a lot of communities can't get things done because the intellectual class don't have a place. It's more than just a nation. It's actually, do we know who the people who know the things that they do, like the people who actually study this stuff? Do they have a place to actually express those opinions and actually give advice? That's all I have to say on that.
Okay, Invisible Man, go ahead and mute yourself. Invisible Man.
Okay, I didn't know I was on mute. But listen, this is what I want to push back on before I make my statement. Black owning slaves is a vacuous argument with respect to reparations, because we all know the historical things around why some Blacks owned others as slaves, and I'm not going to get into that. The other thing that I wanted to clarify before I get on here, the other day when I was on here, I said that Ralph Bunche was one of the organizers of the UN as a Black American. And when I dropped down, somebody in the conversation said he was Caribbean. No, I specifically said he was born in Detroit, and he was one of the organizers of the UN, as well as sitting on the very first body in the UN to confront what was colonization in Africa. So let me get on to why I think why your title is it's all words right now, and I believe that because of the fact that one, it was a Ghanaian that was pushing it, and I want to give props. I want to give him his propers about that, because it did need to happen, but that's just the wrong person to do it. The U.S. rep to the UN specifically said that he was the wrong person to bring it. And if I can, I'll just say this. He said, in addition to the obvious legal problems, this resolution is also unclear as to whom the recipients of reparatory justice would be. The drafters and supporters of this resolution seem to believe it is them. The United States strongly objects to the cynical usage of historical wrongs as a leverage point in an attempt to reallocate modern resources to people and nations who are distantly related to the historical victims. What he was saying, in how I interpret that, is that the historical victims are those who were enslaved, not those who live in a foreign land that may have also just participated in the slavery itself. So that was an explanation as to why the U.S. Voted no on that amendment. So I mean, that was addressed. Also, one of the things,
Invisible Man, can I? Sorry, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Has the Black Caucus or any Black politician brought this to the UN before?
That's the thing. I mean,
yes.
Yes. Okay, so yes, I hear that. Well, what I was going to say is that anybody in the United States to be asking the UN for reparations is probably have to be asking for those other nations and not the U.S. So let me put say this. HR 40, which you said you were going to get into, I didn't hear you discuss it. Maybe I was
already did.
Okay. But it was first introduced by John Conyers, and I've said that a number of times on here in 1989. So the very first person to introduce that was John Conyers. And then the other thing that, well, two more things. If we want reparations, we are going to have to build a strong economic base. That could be done by an allegiance with the African countries who then say, okay, let's push for this. But that's how Jews, in my estimation, that's why Jews are so strong as they are now, because they are very powerful around the world economically. So, you know, the other thing is to ask a Black person running for national elections about reparations. That's almost a death knell to their candidacy.
Right. And so I played the video with Stacey Abrams. She pretty much said that.
Okay. And then finally,
because you know they have the so-called Southern strategy and party switch. I said if Black folks or a Black candidate, if they lead on reparations for Black people, like a lot of those white liberals, minorities, they all switch to Republican. So yeah, we know.
Right. And so all this needs to be done in quiet, in back rooms, so that it's not out there in the public. Because the minute it hits the public, it's dead on arrival. So what Obama should have been doing when he had a secretary of justice. I'm just giving you an example. What he should have done is put a whole lot of people in positions that were careerist people so that they could have been there and maintained the institution, if you understand what I'm saying. Because what Trump did and what others have done is, sure, they only get political appointments, but they also are moving up careers into management positions. And those careers really are the ones that really push the agenda. Finally, let me say this. People talk about Tariq Nasheed and FBA and getting on, and that's why it's a clandestine, this, that, and the other. Look, Smokey Robinson did a poem in 2003 on Def Comedy Jam called A Black American. And he specifically stated he is an American. Claude Anderson said Native American. And I say this, and we all get into the same arguments all the time. So to draw Tariq Nasheed as being some boogeyman and he's against somebody else, this foundational Black American, Native American, whatever you want to say, it's been in the ether for hundreds of years. We are American. And I asked before, of all the Black people on the panel who are not from an African country, did you come from enslaved ancestors? And they all said yes. So whether you want to call yourself Pan-African, what do you want to, and I don't even know what the rest of that stuff is, or FBA or whatever, we are all in the same boat. We argue over names. We argue over what we ought to be called, and we let that prevent us from moving forward. That's all I have.
All right, Africa, go ahead.
Yeah, greetings to everyone. Thanks again, Dennis, for the great work. Again, as I said in the past, this I can understand from both sides of the angle, right? Ghana, a country who obviously happened to be participants in the transatlantic slavery, just like the European colonies, happen to be the one that's in the forefront, in advocating reparation to the children of, who are basically the African American who suffered slavery from from these people. So I can understand where the feelings are coming from, but if we put these feelings aside and look at the end goal, it will actually help us a lot to look at things, as a practical way to deal with issues moving forward, not just this reparation thing, because the reality we need, the last time I said, because of the lack of leadership, in the Black world, whether we like it or not, even in Africa, we don't have good leaders, to be honest. lack of leadership. We're not good at it. We're not good at lobbying for anything in this world. I mean, in the UK where I live, we have both conservative and Labour parties. Okay, they both have friends. The conservative have friends of India. The conservative have friends of the Jew. I think the Labour Party also have friends of Pakistan, and they have friends of Indian and stuff like that. And these are some kind of branch in their political party who advocate and lobby for their people, based on policies. We don't have that, and that's a big problem. And if we do have that in America, it's not been effective. Looking at the policies that came out of it, because you guys, I heard a lot of you guys saying how the Democrats always have let the black voters down. If the Black Caucus was there for all these years, they did the one. Actually, they the one that have let the black voters down, because the reality is you wouldn't expect the Democratic Party as a whole to do anything for you guys. When you have the Black Caucus in there, when we know their job, you elected them in there to do this job for you, and they have failed badly. So we should be pointing the blame at those caucuses, in these parties in the West, instead of blaming the African government, who is putting their face, out there to help, based on their guilt. If that's what they're doing it for, they're good. If they're not doing it for guilt, they're doing it for personal reason. Disgusting. Okay, that's my point. And also, we know for a fact that the interest of African descendants, of slavery, and the interest of Africans in the diaspora can not always be the same. I can. That's where Invisible Man is coming from, because the reality is you don't both have the same agenda, and this can actually clash, and I can hear that a lot between the social media space. And so it's about moving forward, looking at what we both have in common, what we can actually work on, to advance our people and advance, our goals. That's what we should be talking about. And also the African leaders, if they really want to help African Americans, in terms of reparation, they should um, basically be the example of that, because you can't go to America and say one reparation for the children of slaves that you sold, and basically where while you sat on your hands, you're doing nothing for them. And so basically you should be at the African West African government, like ECOWAS, should probably see if they can help them with land, help them with some kind of ways, do something first and say, look, we the one that sold those slaves, we feel bad about this, we apologize, to put our hands up. The Germans did. The Germans apologized for the Holocaust, and the Jews were compensated, and put their hands up and say, look, this is, don't give these guys reason to actually object you. That's reality, because then you're gonna morally have no leg to stand on. And if you don't, because now this is not to do with legal issue. The legality is, as far as the Americans are concerned, it's not there, because what they're saying is slavery wasn't illegal at that time. So therefore, the Ghana have no case. So we're looking at a moral issue here. So morally, the African leaders, the African countries should actually provide some kind of reparation for the African American and the Caribbeans moving forward before they actually went on that trip to the UN. Well, I pass the mic for now. Thank you, sir.
Go ahead, Pharaoh.
I must be last.
Yeah, peace. Can I be heard?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was peace, Diners, peace to the panel. Yeah, I was paying attention to the title and in the videos you played, and I definitely agree that it's all talk and no action. Now, when it comes to slavery, okay, and reparations, now white people just act like that, they just don't get it. Okay, I mean, it's not just about slavery. Okay, it was about slavery. It was about rape. It was about murder, lynching, and every evil thing you can think of. Okay, so these people, they should be glad, okay, that we are asking them for reparations. Okay, because we really shouldn't be asking them for reparations. We should be going to war with them. Okay? Because out of all the wars that I don't think any of these wars had a more important reason than reparations. Okay, a lot of these wars were fought on something small. You know, Egypt, they had the uprising because they couldn't get internet. Okay, you know, and all these other wars being fought, you know, for some other non-important reason. You know, for something that shouldn't be that a big deal shouldn't be made out of. Okay, but we're talking about reparations. You know, compensation for the most evil that the world the most evil atrocity that the world has ever seen. Okay, so yeah, we should be making a big deal out of this, but you know, unfortunately, you know, some people don't care. You know, a big deal is not being made, and we should be getting nations behind us, because if they really claim to be righteous and they believe in God and all that, and believe in justice, they should get behind us in this movement for reparations. Now, I believe if enough pressure was put on the United States to give us reparations, if they was threatened with war, then they might start taking us seriously. Okay, because you got all these countries, they're shooting missiles and going to war with each other, blowing up stuff, you know, for little small petty things, but nobody's making a move for reparations. Just a bunch of talk, just like you said, it's a bunch of talk, no action. You know, and black people, and during all this time when they refused to give us reparations, okay, white riches has grown. Okay, most of your bank, damn near all your banks, all your businesses, all your fast food chains, they're owned by white people. White people becoming billionaires and millionaires. Okay, while black incarceration is increasing, black poverty is increasing. Okay, and black genocide is increasing. So yes, something needs to be done to right this wrong.
All right, let me pass the mic. Let me read the super chats to pass the mic. Let's see here. Gustav, thank you for $2 holla. FBA need to start lobbying and stop fighting. Tell her that's not going to happen. Gustav, thank you for $2 holla. Jews in America got reparations, by the way. Let that sink because they're more organized. Go ahead, CD.
Hey, Donna, this is everybody.
Go ahead.
So,
That's kind of wild. You said that's not going to happen. That's happening right now, and Adonis quit being disrespectful, bro.
It's not. It's not in a meaningful way. Go ahead, CD.
My whole thought is, I don't think if reparation is going to happen anyway. I would say this. You know, Ghana is the one that pushing for reparation, and Africa is almost 54 countries. And you go to Africa right now, I would say 99% of Africans don't even know what reparation means. Even the ones that live here have no idea what reparation means, right? So Ghana was the one that engaged them, saying today is, first of all, they have to be complacent about slavery because they have a slave origin in Ghana, and they use that as a tourist center to make money out of it. Right? They have to come out and say, well, we were guilty of slavery. Not all African countries. We have 54 African countries, and a lot of African countries have no idea whether slavery went on or not. So if you ask them about reparation, they have no idea what it means. So since Ghana decided to take the initiative to push for this, they should stand for the responsibility whatever happened, right? But first of all, they have to show to the to African Americans that they were guilty, they were somehow involved into slavery. Or with the Jewish, whether you are victim of Holocaust or not, they all benefited from it. Whether Jews were living in Africa or Europe or America, they fight in hands to get their reparation. Whether black people going to get it or not, but there's no unity, right? If there's no leadership, there's no unity, and there's no way that they can push this forward. So since Ghana decided to take the initiative to take this to the United Nations, they should give them that chance to to push for it. But this is not Africa things. When people talk about social media, it's Africa, Africa. Well, there are only a few countries that are aware of this, specifically Ghana. So if Ghana already decided to take the engagement to push for reparations, I think they
The
should
AU
work
backed it.
along with the African Americans to push to get reparation. But other African countries are not involved in this. They have no idea what is going on. You will call a lot of Africans right now in Africa what reparation means. They have no idea what that means, even here, the one that lives here.
That's not true. The AU
So
backed it. It was backed by the African Union.
I'm telling you right now, even if by the African Union, you ask African, individual Africans to ask them what reparation mean, what they're talking about, they have no idea. Right? So Ghana was the one that they think they are the forefront of Africa to do things on their own. I don't think if the other African countries are involved in this. Not at all. So Ghana took the initiative to do this. And first of all, they should be guilty of slavery. Number one. Number two, they should not be making money out of that slave origin. It should be of some sort of place where people should sympathize with African Americans because they were really involved into slavery. So I will remain there for now.
All right, go ahead. Negro by blood. Go ahead. Negro by blood. Unmute yourself. Negro by blood. All right. Teddy on politics. Go ahead.
He forgot. You forgot about me.
You're at the Teddy. You're at the Teddy on politics. Go ahead, Teddy.
Yeah. Okay.
Ahead,
so one thing that needs to be cleared up was that this was just a resolution by the general population or general members of the UN. Nothing happens unless which makes it not binding, which makes it not legal. Nothing happens until it gets to the Security Council. The Security Council makes the binding resolutions and it makes it legal. So who's a permanent member of the Security Council? America. Who voted no on the resolution that was presented to the general membership? America. Now this should put a nail in FBA's reparation coffin. If they wanted reparations from America, they're not going to get it. It's not going to happen. So, and again, and also Ghana was just the representation. The AU supported it, Brazil supported it, CELAC supported it, CARICOM supported it. So they weren't. I don't know why everybody's getting on Ghana about this. There were other organizations and entities and countries that supported that. So if they want to be mad at CARICOM, be mad at CELAC, be mad at the AU, because they all supported that. Be mad at Brazil. Why are they not going in on Brazil? Why are they going in on Ghana like that? And in addition to that, I believe it was part of the resolution was reparations for colonialism as well, not just slavery. It was reparations for colonial. So that affect.
I don't think they mentioned. Teddy, if I can object, I have to listen to Ghana's the president's speech again. I don't even think he brought up colonialism.
Yeah, I believe he did. I believe he did. So that's what I'm saying. I believe that was part of it too, for reparations for colonialism. So all that being said, FBA, they move the goalposts every other day. So now, they're talking about ethnogenesis and what the one brother just said, they changed with Tariq changed his title and now he's talking about something else. So they have to, every time they can't get anywhere with the whole reparations argument, they start focusing on something else. Like they start going in and being xenophobic against Black immigrants and Arab and brothers and sisters from the continent, that type of thing. So I just wanted to make that point, just to clear up in case people were unaware that nothing happens until it gets to the Security Council. So to say that it was kind of pointless, no, it's not pointless. That's just the first step in the process. So hopefully it gets to the Security Council. America's going to veto it because they're a permanent member. So because they already vetoed it just in a general vote. So FBA hadn't really got a leg to stand on with the reparations coming from America. So that's all I had to say.
All right, go ahead, Bishop. Unmute yourself, Bishop.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hearing some good stuff on here and a lot of weirdo stuff on here as well. Our people, we've been going to the UN to fight on behalf of us for the atrocities that happened to our people. You know, W.E.B. Du Bois, he submitted the appeal to the world in 1947. Also in 1951, William Patterson and Paul Robeson submitted the We Charge Genocide petitions, not counting the other petitions that we fought for our reparations. Our people been compromised.
Not to the UN General Assembly, you didn't.
I need to be able to speak without being cut off. Like I didn't speak when nobody was speaking.
I'm fact checking you.
I didn't speak when nobody was speaking. All I'm saying is, you made me lose my train of thought. Our people, we've been fighting here, but we've been compromised. I'm hearing people keep comparing us to the Jews. First of all, when America was being established, there was a Jew that funded the Continental Army. He funded Robert Morris. His name was Chaim Solomon. He was a damn Jew. And this is why they always back the Jews and support the Jews. They was complicit in getting America started. Y'all need to do your research, man. Stop comparing us to those people. While we was going under oppression and being hung, they had Supreme Court justices here in this country. They was controlling privatized banking. It's nowhere near the same. Nowhere near the same. We were the only group that after slavery had to go back and prove ourselves to be human under the people that enslaved us. We didn't get no land separate from nobody else. We were still living on the same land under the same system that was oppressing us. So it's not the same. It's not the same. When you deal with Ghana's president, he comes from the Gonja tribe, the same people that was complicit in taking down other weaker tribes and selling them to the Akan people. His people.
They were victims too.
Whether they was victims or not, they were selling slaves, and they were selling slaves that
They were
landed
victims
here.
too. Tell the full story.
Stop cutting me off while I'm talking.
Stop interrupting the man, bro.
But this is what I'm saying. This is the disrespect, man. What I'm saying is, I noticed that if we criticizing Black Americans, there is no cutoff. But if I criticize the African, all of a sudden we got a problem. Like, no, neither one of us is above criticism. Africa, there was African countries that was complicit in selling us. That's a fact. And he comes from one of those tribes. It don't matter if they was victims or not. If they got colonized because they was doing business with them people. So I'm just saying, like, all of us been compromised here in the United States, whether it's the Black clergy, whether we was Democrats or Republicans. It's been a colossal failure from both of those parties. And a lot of betrayal, a lot of promises that wasn't there. So here we are. But the same thing in West Africa. Those countries are puppets for the EU, and they've been puppets, and they don't have the military to defend themselves. So here we are as Black Americans and Africans. That's it. It ain't one worse than the other or that. We all been jacked. But I need the Africans to stop acting like they didn't do anything wrong. Or no, y'all got a whole nation with an intact language, intact culture, intact everything. And y'all still messed up. So y'all not no better than us. I'm laying there.
All right, go ahead, Truth Teller. Let me just tell Truth Teller.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? I'm going to come in a little positive this time. So I want to give some suggestions to Ghana, what they could have done and what they could still do to maybe actually make this a positive. One, they can close down all those slave dungeons they got over there they're making money on. Shut those down.
Hey, Truth Teller. If I can interject, I would say they can make money off of them, but a certain percentage needs to go towards.
Well, here I was going to go to that. So let me finish. Go
ahead.
So they can shut them down, or what they could do if they keep them open, all the funds that go from those, all of it, not some of it, all of it goes to one of our funding organizations here for Black people. United Negro College Fund. Anybody remember that one? That could be a benefit. Supporting Black businesses, giving grants to Black businesses over here in the United States. They can use the money for that. That'd be great.
Are Black Americans the only ones who pass through those castles?
Investing. I'm doing my opening. They can
I'm just
invest
asking you a
in
question.
black.
Are Black Americans the
Yeah.
only one to
Hey,
Well, hold
Donis,
on.
those
Let
why
me
you
damages?
finish
don't tell
talking.
him to stop when he talking?
You're
When
exploiting
everybody else
the
talk, you tell
slavery.
them to
You
shut
should
up
not be
when he
making money
talking.
Well,
off
my
it.
man, I
Yeah,
get.
when he
Well,
talking, you don't
hold
tell
on,
him to shut up.
y'all. Hold on. I got a lot of these coming. I got about 5 or 6 of these coming. So let me get the 5 or 6 out, and then you can ask whatever questions you want. Besides that, they could actually pay us the reparations for the transatlantic slave trade, right? They could also help us organize a system for recording the information, sort of like the Freedmen's Bureau we used to have. They can fund that, right? The other thing that they can do is they can actually, if they really wanted to push it, if they were serious about pushing it, they could shut down their borders and production of vital resources to other countries, i.e. the United States and Europe, until they make this move. And they could also convince some of the other African nations to do that as well, if they really wanted to push it, right? Besides just pushing it here. They can also go to our Congress people and petition with our Congress people directly, make it a whole news media thing. Hey, there's a lot of leaders coming in from Africa talking to the Black Congressional Congress, talking to the Senate in regards to reparations, and they look real serious about it. But Black Americans need to be paid for the crimes and tribulations and blah, 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 right? The other thing they can do is they can actually give us land over there so we can actually benefit and actually help their economy and not go over there and have to pay $1 trillion out of our pocket to just go over there and not even be citizens, just be, abode. So there's a ton of things they can do. They can invest in our children, right? They can invest in their own children. How come their own people don't know anything about the slave trade? That's kind of weird, don't you think? So there's a ton of things they can do, and I think this whole thing they did, they were literally trying to get some money from this whole reparations thing, as well as showing, hey, we did it first, even though they didn't apologize for what their hand in it, and they're still making money off the slave trade to this day. So they're just hypocrites, is what they are. Actually, they scumbags, but it is what it is.
And that's the fact.
I gotta pass the mic. Negro Blood, go ahead, Negro Blood.
Hey, thank you. Hey, I have more of a question because I was looking it up, and so where would this money come from? Anybody know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
they had no plans for that. They had no. They were just stating it for the other countries, i.e., those that were responsible should pay towards the money. And in their discussions, they would be the overseers of whatever funds came in. So that's why. This wasn't even a serious thing. They just was talking.
Yeah, where the money comes from, it comes from the same place that the Jews get the money from every year. That $3 billion they get in reparations from America, it comes from that same place. That's where it comes from.
Okay, I mean, it's a brilliant idea.
America gives Jews money, not Germany?
No. Listen what I'm saying. What Ghana did is a brilliant idea, but they did it wrong. They should have teamed up with us. Ghana should have went after the British while we get our shit here, and then Ghana come and get their shit. This is the problem, bro. When I'm on the site, all I hear about is Tariq Nasheed. He's not the leader of Black Americans. He's not. I'm sorry to tell y'all that. Me, every Black American is them. We could work together. Forget that dude, bro. And that's all I gotta say. It's time to work together, man. Every day I come on this site, it's the same old shit. Tariq this, Tariq that, Tariq this. I don't even know the dude. But I bet you if we could call each other, we could do more than Tariq ever did. But I forgot. Now I forgot. Y'all love complaining. I go to the American side, it's the Africans. I go to the Africans, it's American. But African is shitty and the ghetto over here is shitty. What the fuck y'all gonna do?
Interesting.
Can I ask a question real quick? if you don't mind. I agree with you, but the thing is that not all of us want to work together.
It doesn't matter. Do you want to work together? Do you want to work together?
Yes.
Do you? Oh, okay. That's all that matter.
Okay, then the thing is that
That's
for the
all
people
that
who don't
matter.
want to together, do we
Every
invite
time
them?
I come on here, it's Tariq Nasheed, bro. It's Tariq. I'm starting to think this Tariq page. The
No, but
FDA is an
no.
FDA, bro. If they want to call they self FDA, who gives a fuck?
Well, not everybody listen to Terry. I don't know this guy in Africa talk about listening. I never listened to Terry in my life. I don't even know
I
who
don't
this
listen
guy
to
is.
him. I
No,
Yeah, I
I never listen to him.
need
Neither
him.
no one
I don't.
human being want to
I don't
listen
take
to
him
this guy.
serious.
Tariq is
I
an
really
Arab
don't.
name, by the way.
But I think the
No, that's not his
Ghanaians
real
are
name.
Ghanaians are using that to say, well,
That's
they
not his
don't
real
have a
name.
leadership who should represent
And I
them. But the
land my
fact
plane
is,
because we talking about Tariq Nasheed.
No, you're
some
talking about
nonsense.
Marcus Sanders. That's his real name.
But the Ghana should be complacent. They should return all the money that they have been collecting from that slave origin and give it back to the African American. If they're really serious about
That'll
slavery,
never happen. You know that.
that's really, really
But you know that'll
terrible.
never happen though.
They're
I agree,
making money
CD.
off
They
of
should start from
slavery.
there. Mm-hmm.
Hey, can I
They're
ask
making a lot of money out of slavery, and they try to sympathize with these people. I can't understand. Ghana always play those type of game. It's terrible,
can I ask
and they are the
Yeah.
one always making African look bad.
I want to
If
ask
you guys collecting money over there, and you're coming to
Yeah.
United Nations to speak on the
you.
slave
How many
or
citizens
whatever happened,
Do,
why
do you
you
know? Do you
return the
know
money?
what? I blame
To give the
how many
money
Sekou
back.
Touré.
contributed to Black
Remember
Americans?
Sekou Touré that taught them Pan Africanism. Since then, they just ran away with it, like he says. But
Exactly. It's exactly. You
yeah.
remember that
But
Ghanaian lady? They didn't even know Sekou was living in. I mean, Kwame Nkrumah was living in Guinea with Sekou Touré. He didn't even know that. He lived there with him. He's saying to Romania to die, but they never
yeah,
mention about Guinea. They always say, "Oh, he died in Romania."
yeah.
That's so
I we know
sad.
we know we know we know the fact. That's the reason
Yeah.
why I speak the way I speak, because I see it from both sides. I lived in someone that come from Sierra Leone or Liberia understand about these things very well,
Yeah.
and fairly Guinea also that not just talk Pan Africanism, but they actually act it. So it's just
Even the civil war in this country, did Ghana
yeah.
contribute a troop? No. To fight to help Sierra Leone out of civil war? No. Did they contribute a
They
troop?
might have
No.
little tiny bit.
Very
Nigeria did
little.
most of this.
And
Nigeria
you
did the
have to
most.
receive equipment from the West to even contribute troop.
Hey,
But
let me
who
ask.
fight
Hey, let me ask the
for
African.
this country
Hey,
was
CD,
what?
CD in Africa. Let me
Nigeria
ask
and
y'all a
Yeah,
Guinea.
question.
bro. Yeah,
Hold
yeah.
on, CD. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
Let me ask
it's
y'all a
true.
question.
I agree.
Ghana
Let
always
him ask the
exploiting.
question.
Well,
You're
let me
talking too
ask the
much.
question
Let him
real
ask the
quick.
question.
Yeah.
This is me
Go on.
as a Black American, right?
Mm.
I can't speak for Africa because I'm not there. But here in America, for the most part in the last 25 years, when most Africans come here, especially over here in the East Coast corridor, they're not practicing no Pan-Africanism. They building communities away from us. They're not coming joining us. So a lot of times when y'all hear things about FBA, because I grew up, when I was growing up, the part that's disingenuous to me, and I'm gonna ask the question. If you go back to the 80s and the 70s, everything was about Africa. All of us grew up damn near, unless you was in the South, grew up damn near through Pan-Africanism. The rap, the music, we was wearing the dashikis, we had the red, black, and green medallions. Everything was about Africa. And then we start seeing Africans come over here. They wasn't practicing nothing we was taught to practice. So this is where a lot of the divisions come from. I respect Dynas because way before there was all this internet stuff or something like, I remember Dynas on Facebook years ago. Dynas been on this Pan-African tip, but Dynas come from the culture that this is what we were doing. But when I'm encountering Africans, they ain't practicing that. That's why a lot of times we're not respecting, and it shouldn't be like that, but that's why a lot of times we're not respecting y'all, because y'all, a lot of times they come here on this African tip, but we like, man, y'all not even practicing that. So now
That's a fact. That's true. That's 100% true. Most of these people don't even go back home. They left their country for 20 years, 30 years. They be in America. They never even go back. And when they want to come here and talk to people about Burkina Faso, Mali, they never went back in their life. You ask them about their own country, they have no idea what is going
And
on
they
there.
had nothing building a cohesion between the black people in America, the black Africans, and the black Africans have migrated to America. and the Black Americans. They should have cohesion between them. That's what we had. We had a bit of problem, between the Jamaicans, here years ago. But today we work together. We have cohesion. We actually, intermarriage. We live in a community. We
can I talk after you?
we talk to each other. We share each other's food, and we go to each other's restaurants. We share. We go to each other's shops. We need to work together. This animosity that's between the Africans and the FBA or whatever you call it in America, that doesn't, it used to be in the UK, but it doesn't exist anymore because we learn from our lessons. And I hope you guys do that as well, because, we're all one Black family, regardless, whether you like it or not.
I will tell you this, Africa. I will tell you this, right? A lot of these Africans don't even go back to Africa. I met Danis on a flight on my way to Africa a couple of times.
Most of them are often younger. That's another thing I've noticed, because
one more time, Auntie Rose, I couldn't hear you. Say it one more time.
Because somebody was talking. My apologies. Okay, let me start from the beginning.
Yeah,
I agree what you're saying. But the thing is that I can only relate to it when I talk to older people. That is true. But when you talk to younger people, it's a bit more different. I'm not saying they're more Pan-Africanist. It's just that they grew up with a more connected world, meaning they actually got to see how other people live. Most Africans don't know Pan-Africanism. You're right. That's true. But most Africans didn't know about anything when they left. My generation, my parents' generation, they didn't know anything about that. Okay? So all of this is mostly new to the younger generation. And the thing is,
but it doesn't. I don't think it's about.
I'm not talking to you. Okay. And another thing is that the Africans who do come here, oftentimes are no different from the back then, are no different from the Asians, for example, or the Indians who come here. They usually do come there as their own communities. But the thing is that not all. I would also say there are also Black Americans who do, when they do well, they also leave. Now, why is that? Is it because they don't want to be around? Most of the time, it's an economic issue. Okay?
But that's the majority of us don't leave. We stay in our community.
Yeah, that's not true. Even our wealthy people don't leave either. What are you talking about?
We stay here, bro.
We don't go anywhere.
The way we can work each other, it's like building a website. Sorry, guys.
Africa, the sad part is when you come here, we somehow travel to Africa all the time. I met Danis on a flight, right? The JFK. I saw him at JFK with some ladies on the flight, introduced myself to him. I met him a couple of times, but I didn't show myself to him. I go to Africa every year. But some of these people that come here, they pretend to be Pan-African. They never even go back to their country. They never, since they left, they come here, they argue with people.
Crazy,
yeah, but Brother Bishop,
it's absolutely crazy. And also exchanging knowledge. And
hey, I gotta read this super chat. Taraka 3897. Thank you for $5 holla. African Americans are not the only that was a slave. Most of the slaves went to Brazil. Brazil was also the worst form of slavery. All right, let me back. Hold on, Bishop. You want to say something, Bishop?
Yeah, what I was saying was, it's like we're getting held to a standard that nobody else is being held to. Like when dealing with this Pan-African, like those different tribes. When you go to Africa, if you fly from Ghana to Uganda, you a foreigner. Like those tribes ain't getting along, or it's not. We was led to believe that Africa was this big utopia and everybody was together. That's why when you came to America, you was on the black stuff. We opened up our arms. That's how you have a Farrakhan and you have a Marcus Garvey and all those different groups, because our arms was always open when you came here on some black shit. We found out that Africa ain't practicing that. So that's where a lot of vitriol and a lot of issues is coming. The second part is, Africans I done told me I wasn't African. They said I was mixed race. I'm not African. I've been told 1,000 times by Africans. They tell me I'm not Wongoff. I'm not Mandingo. I'm not Ashanti. I'm not none of those people.
That's crazy.
The same way you got a Puerto Rican. There was no Puerto Ricans in the 1500s or Dominicans of these groups. We've been created here with different mixtures of periods of time. So when Africans come here, a lot of them don't even think we Africans, and we got to be honest about that, because the Africans know that that's what's being said.
And that's a fact. That's true.
Bishop, if I can make this one point, Brother Bishop, there are Black Americans right now in Ghana who are doing exactly what you're accusing the Black immigrants of doing, keeping to themselves. They have their Black enclave. It's just not Ghana. They don't do this just in Ghana. They do it in Costa Rica. They do it in Brazil. They do it in the Dominican Republic. Black Americans keep to themselves. They play Black American music. They eat Black American food. They do all that. So I think it's kind of, no disrespect, but it's kind of
no, you out of context.
No, it ain't even close, bro.
Yeah, okay.
You ain't close.
I'm just saying.
So hold on. Let me go, Bishop.
I'm just saying.
Let me go, Bishop, because when he
Black
just
Americans do the exact same thing when they live in.
No, we don't. This is how I know you do.
I know personally.
Yeah,
I know personally.
I know personally too. You're not the only one that travel.
Black Americans leave America.
No, so here's what he's leaving out. We all know how those countries feel about Black people when you go there. It's specifically about Black Americans. You think you as a Black American go to one of these other countries and just fit into their culture? You have to be separate because that's what those cultures do. I don't know why you're making it seem like we have a choice. When we go to other places, we don't go to disrespect people's cultures. We don't go there to criticize their legal system. We don't go there to tell them, yo, you people should do this and you people should do that. We don't do that kind of stuff. We don't do that. We go there and we do what we do as Black Americans. Now we try to be friendly with everybody.
That's my point.
Just like we're friendly with everybody here, but we're not accepted like that. So don't make it seem like we're the ones who separate. This is the truth in every. I've been to over 40 countries. Ain't none of them, even the Black ones, treated the same. As soon as I go to Jamaica, as soon as I go to Cancun, as soon as I go to Brazil, they already know I'm not one of them, no matter how dark my skin is. So don't make it seem like that's how we roll because we like
I'm referring to the Black Americans that actually live there. They don't visit. They live there just like Black America. That's like Black.
Right, but they have to. They're not part of the culture. Right, but they're not part of that culture.
There's nothing wrong with that as long as you live in peace.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, don't make it seem like. But he making it seem like we do it because
practicing their culture. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it. So why did you bring it up as if?
Hold on.
Go ahead, Bishop.
This is the disingenuous part. We're not in those countries getting into their politics and telling them what they're doing wrong. They're lazy, and building communities where we're making it known that we're separate from them and doing things that's diametrically opposed to. We're not doing that. So stop being disingenuous.
I agree with that also.
They're Black Americans.
Can I just make one very valid point? What you just said, right? In the UK, we have
telling them that the Ghana should change their politics to make citizenship faster. So don't tell me they don't get involved in politics.
First of all, no, those are two different arguments. When a lot of the immigrants are coming here, I'm gonna tell you what it is. A lot of immigrants are coming here when we have they go against a lot of our politics and they're joining.
I think it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag.
One thing I learned about a lot of those immigrants and a lot of things that we may be ignorant to. In those countries, they're the majority group. So when you in Jamaica or you in Africa, a lot of times when they look up, they see white people different than the way we see white people. So they come here and ingratiate themselves to them white folks in the way we trying to get away from them. They join forces with them a lot when they come here. So let's stop the lying. Like, can we just be honest?
Bishop, the only place I understand, the only place I agree with you on, like if, for example, I notice the African politicians in the UK, they tend to align more with the anti, how do you call it? For example, most of the politicians that we like, the current leader of opposition we have in the UK, she's more aligned with the far right, racist, hardcore, and anti, reparation. Because in fact, she just said,
example you're using.
She just said,
right?
That's an example. That's an example, okay?
What
she just actually said yesterday. Let me finish. She just said yesterday that the UK should have actually refused it instead of abstaining. They should have voted against reparation instead of abstaining. And that's an African person who have no clue, or maybe she probably does, but she don't have no sympathy towards the African American or the Caribbean cause of reparation or slavery. and she
Thank you
don't.
for
You
telling
understand?
me.
So
sellout.
we need to
Kimmy is
attach.
a
Thank you for being
We need to
honest.
look at those things also. Okay.
Thank you for
Yeah.
being honest, Africa. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks. Yeah. You're welcome.
Kimmy is a sellout. There's sellouts everywhere. I know who he's talking about. Kimmy is a
Okay.
sellout.
I'm gonna drop off, but thank you very much. It's late. I got work in the morning. You know, salute to you guys. You know,
All right, man,
love.
Africa. Take care, man.
Keep the peace. Thank
Hey
you.
guys,
Thank you very much.
let me pass the mic to M. Go ahead, M.
Yeah, what's up? Thank you. I think the president of Ghana committed affinity fraud because there was no need for him to bring this resolution. And people talking about reparations was denied. This resolution was about making slavery the worst crime against humanity. The UN already created a charter, I think 3 years ago, saying that reparations must be paid. And Ghana, the former president of Ghana immediately said that Ghana must be paid because America built the wealth off of its slaves. They came out publicly saying they want to give reparations because we built the wealth of the West. What the Ghana president did a couple of days ago, he none of his rhetoric included accountability, saying that Ghana was involved in slavery. He was saying that the people from the West was capturing and kidnapping the slaves. The only person that brought up the fact that Ghana was involved was the American representative. But I think when people say Black Americans never brought nothing to the UN, since the 1800s, before we got the 14th Amendment, we was promised 40 acres and a mule. We've been fighting for reparations since the 1800s. Johnny Cochran, the great Johnny Cochran, before he died, was working on a reparations plan. And I think most of his attorneys got killed in the World Trade Center. So we've been working on reparations. And I think Africa as a whole, they have been beneficiaries of sympathy. Like it's been working thus far. Like poor Africa, they need this. We need to get them billions of dollars. And then all of a sudden you got this African billionaire. And then they're getting all of this money because people feel sorry for them. And I think that was the play that the president of Ghana was doing, because it has worked. People talking about Africa. Ghana was the first person. It wasn't even about reparations. It was about making slavery, the transatlantic slave trade, the worst crime against humanity. And all of a sudden, he fought for reparations, and he took no accountability whatsoever. He put it all on it, and then the overlay for the overplay for the underlay. The next day he went to the same Europeans talking about protect us against the AES, the same one he accused of slavery. And yet people didn't see that as a problem because he already got the credibility and the glory for something that wasn't even necessary, because the UN had already said that slavery was a crime against humanity and reparations must be paid. Ghana just injected themselves and then start representing Black Americans. He could have went to Jamaica. He could have went to Brazil. He started talking about what happened to us. But he mentioned us. He mentioned them also. I ain't going to lie about that. I ain't going to discount that. But he did mention the 500,000 that went to America. He just bunched us in with everybody else. But I think it was just a affinity fraud. Like, I think they're so accustomed to that. Because if you look at it, all of the development in Africa is not really coming from the intellectuals that moved to America. We got the resources, we got the land, we looking for the Europeans to come and develop. It's like a prostitution. Like I think a brother mentioned, I think Dinah's mentioned, I think Duke Jackson, I was watching Duke Jackson, he mentioned that it's basically prostitution. You see what I'm saying? They prostituting their country out, but all of the people that they got education in America, I think it's a play on both sides, because they getting the money from all of the education of people in America, all of the people that do the businesses, the hotels, and then they getting it on the other end with the Europeans coming in investing, the Chinese investing. But why not just get the Africans who got all this education to come and use their intellectual capacity to use the resources to make metal, to make machinery, to make bulldozers? Like, why do you still beg the Europeans? And then I think it's just a scam. You see what I'm saying? It's just a scam.
Yeah, Ghana.
Go ahead. I'm gonna pass it back to Bang, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I think the whole thing is Ghana is complicit in somehow in slavery. They should not be making money in that slave origin. They should return all that money to African Americans. You know, Ghana is not Pan-African country. I will tell people this all the time. They always try to show the image that they are
Hey, say
Pan-African
it
country,
again, brother.
but they
Say
are
it one
not.
more time. Say it one more time, please.
They
For
are
us.
not Pan-African country at all. I'm telling you right now. But for the fact that they get a lot of promotion from African Americans and they have a lot of attention and people say Kwame Nkrumah, but the reality Ghana is not Pan-African country. I would tell you this, all the civil war they have fighting in Africa, whether in Sierra Leone or Liberia, Ghana hardly contribute troops to go and fight. I will tell you this. They never contribute to, but they always try to come on the forefront and gain and try to gain the whatever grievance that people try to gain from this from Pan-African. But the reality is not a Pan-African country at all. They are not. That's the reality. And first of all, the country is so expensive. So expensive. So Ghana exploit even other African countries. That's the fact.
Is there any African,
You know.
Pan-African countries in Africa that
Yes, yeah, they have. Well, some of them are French-speaking countries. Like Guinea. Do you know Kwame Nkrumah was living in Guinea as a co-president? It was secretary that took care of him.
Okay.
But Ghanaian hardly speak about that.
Okay.
He died in the hand of secretary in Guinea. When he got sick, he sent him to Romania. It was the secretary that saved the Kwame Nkrumah. He was living with him there. In fact, he said he gave a position to him to be a co-president of Guinea. He was living with him. So these are real Pan-African leaders, right? But Ghanaians hardly speak about that. But they always use Kwame Nkrumah as an image to say, well, this is where Pan-Africanism started from. Ghana is the face of Africa. But the reality is they are not Pan-African country. First of all, before you do this, how can one leader live from? First of all, Mahama, he's not a head of ECOWAS. Madabu is the head of ECOWAS, right? So if you're doing something like that, why you can't take someone who is the head of EU or OAU or someone who is head of ECOWAS to come and make this presentation? So he did it without a consent of other African countries. A lot of Africans don't even know why they did this. But the reality is they always want to be on the forefront to capture that image of African Americans, so they can get more tourism over there. They can get more money from African Americans. That's the reality.
How would you qualify a Pan-African country first?
What's that?
No, the person asked the question, Pan-African country. How would you qualify one? I guess because I can.
Those that's working together to actually make Africa better and working with the diaspora, where you can actually see it working in real time, something that's tangible that people can benefit from it. I don't see it, and I think the Pan-Africans are doing a horrible job in actually displaying it, if it actually exists, because I don't believe it exists.
Yeah, I don't think
it doesn't. And other countries.
Hold on, let me ask a question before you go. Let me ask a question. Why does it always start with us, FBAs in America? I hear it pushed here more than anything else. Why does it always start here? How come it's not starting in Africa? Can anybody actually tell me?
But that's what I'm saying. We have 54 countries.
Yes.
Ghana, that's a good question for the Ghanaians. Why he came in and did this? I mean,
all African countries, truth be told, I mean, I don't see it anywhere.
No, but that's what I'm saying. We have the several organizations in Africa, right? We have OAU, we have ECOWAS, we have East African, community. So if you come in and make this kind of claim to United Nations, you should consult the other leaders, right? But I didn't see the representative of other countries.
Guys, let me. Well, CD, you got 30 seconds. I gotta pass the mic.
So I didn't see the representative of other country that came along with him to make this presentation. Right. And then what the other guy was saying, that after making that presentation, claiming that, well, they deserve all the reparations, and then he ran in the hand of the European to protect Ghana. So which one it is? They all will try to get the both side, and they want to benefit from both sides. They want to claim that they are Pan-African country, but the reality is they are not. Ghana is not Pan-African country.
Okay, let me pass the mic. Go ahead, Bang.
How's everybody, man? Can you hear me?
Hey, Bang, but why y'all causing trouble in Jos in Nigeria? Why y'all causing trouble in Jos? Why y'all causing trouble, Bang? Come on, Bang.
No, because people attack the Fulanese, and then later when the Fulanese attack back, and then they spread the news. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth, man.
Okay, why y'all causing trouble in Jos, man? Come on.
I'm not lying to you, man. They start trouble, stealing cows, and then do some other things as well.
Stealing cows?
No,
because later on, when the Fulanese get no, hold on, Dennis. I'm telling you the truth. Like me, I don't sugarcoat it, man. I don't sugarcoat it. Everywhere in Nigeria is corrupt. Everywhere it's corrupt. It's corrupt. It's corrupt as hell.
Oh, so it ain't Black Americans, it's Nigerians.
Oh, Nigerians. I call them Super N.
So they worse than us, huh?
Super N. Yeah, Nigerians is a Super N. Like this is how it is. So what they do is now they attack these people, and then later on when the Fulani then regroup and then come back and attack them, and then they spread this so-called on social media as the victims. That's what that's all it is.
All right, go ahead, Ben. Go ahead.
But anyway, let me get to this, right? I always said, Ghanaians, you can't trust them. They're elites and their governments. I've been saying this for the past couple weeks now, a couple months now. People did not want to believe me. People came and attacked me, and it's kind of surprising because I already knew when I saw this so-called UN speech and everything. Cities COP.
Somebody got some feedback.
They were supposed to what you would call it, consult ECOWAS. Come on, city man. What is ECOWAS? Let's be honest with ourselves, man. No. Let's be honest with ourselves, man. Don't try to send ECOWAS as Pan-Africanists to Black Americans, man. Come on, man. Be for real, man. Be for real with yourself, man. And okay. Why is Ghanaians selling the AES as well? Why is Ghanaians trying to pretend as if they about to give a reparation to Black Americans, which is completely false. I said it before. It was all a distraction. It was all a distraction because lay down the foundation, right? If you look at March, right? I think it was March, right? They passed a defense secretary a defense a bill with the European Union, right? They couldn't put it with put it with France. Because technically, if they would have said France and Ghana signed the defense secretary bill, it would have, like a big alarm. So what they did was they just attached it to the European Union as well. I was saying this thing a couple weeks ago when those tea groups attacked those farmers. They were laying the foundation for it as well. And then a couple weeks later, the defense secretary of Ghana flew to Ukraine to sign what? A defense package. How many defense packages Ghanaians need? They already have the U.S. base over there to teach them how to fight. And at the same time, they brought the so-called French military to come teach them how to fight within, illegal mining as well. And then you fly all the way to Ukraine in a country that's losing about 30% of the territory as well. Make it make sense for another defense package. And you signed a deal with the European Union for another defense package. How many defense packages do y'all need as a Ghanaian? But then y'all go around and call yourself Pan-Africanists. I always knew Ghanaians were fake. They not Pan-Africans at all. They not at all. They need to come out and say exactly what they are. But we don't have no country in West Africa currently. These ECOWAS countries, they're not Pan-Africanists. Look at my country. Drugs have destroyed us. Our president sells drugs. I benefit off of APC. I benefit also, as a PP. Damn. But I'm not gonna come out here and talk about my country's doing good when it comes to development. No, we not. Our president is a drug dealer. Our president is a drug dealer.
What country you from?
Anybody, man, from
what
Sierra
country?
Leone. From Sierra Leone. Anybody who's in Sierra Leone building houses now, they drug dealers. Under the same current party for the past 8 years they're in power. But you don't say some of these Africans that come up here and tell y'all this and say they want to sugarcoat it and stuff like that, right? I don't care what nobody says.
The Africans mad at you right now in the comment section. They cussing you out.
In West Africa that has the balls, it's those 3 countries. That's why you see the white masses surrounding them. That's why you see Tinubu sell Niger. That's why you see, Ghana sold Burkina Faso. You understand me, right? Abraham Traore said it a couple weeks ago, a month, like 2 months ago, whatever it was. Black winter is coming. They knew exactly these countries were going to sell them out. That's why they said Black winter is coming. The Black winter was exactly for Ghana and Nigeria, because during this time, Nigerians and Ghana were just playing. We especially Ghana. Ghana was just pretending. Oh, we love our neighbors. We love our neighbors and stuff like that. No. Behind closed doors, what they were doing, working with the white people to come and unalive, innocent Burkina Faso as well, so then they could unalive a president that don't do what the West says. Everything comes back to do what I say. If you don't do what I say, I will come and unalive you and put somebody else in it. That's how the West operate. Just say how it is. But I don't know why some people come up here and try to sugarcoat it. Donald Trump said it clearly. We invaded Venezuela to steal their oil. We started a proxy war with Ukraine to steal Russian oil. What else do you want? I mean, the people that run this country saying it openly now. But I don't know why some Africans come up here and still tell us, oh, democracy, like, military and stuff like that. That's what I don't understand, though. Up to this day, the people that run this country right here, so-called, greatest country in the world, right? They're telling us now openly what we do in other people's countries. We guard there to steal their resource.
Keep telling the truth, bro. Tell the truth. Keep telling the truth. Shame the devil.
I just don't get it. How up to this day, Africans, that's what I said. Don't trust an African. The only way you can trust an African, you have to trace their family last name. It's what they look like. Their family last name tells you how corrupt they are in Africa. Any African you see, you come up here, you have to follow their family last name. Their family last name takes you back to their country. Their country tells you how well they are connected within the corrupt society of their country. How powerful they are. So the money connected to politics, the money try to twist things. They come up here and tell you this. Oh, democracy, this and that. Exactly. And who they work for. Because yesterday, right? Oh, that stupid guy, he called himself Elvis, right? Yeah. Oh, man. Why would you come up here, right, and said, oh.
Hey, bang, you got 30 seconds. Got to pass the mic.
I'm in this business, right?
I was enjoying this, Dinus.
Yeah, but I got like 3 people on the panel, guys.
I do not care what any African come up here. The only boss president we have in Africa are those 3 countries, those AES. That's why you see they're being surrounded. By who? The white European that you said that committed the worst crime ever.
This is my favorite African right here.
Yeah, exactly. How you call them to come and save you in your own country at the same time? How many defense packages do you have to sign? Ghanaians. Oh my God. At least Nigerians got big mouth. They got big mouth. But the Ghanaians, oh man, they're the devil. They're the devil, man. I do not care. Ghanaians, man, y'all the devil. I hope, I'm going to end this, right? I hope in the World Cup that's coming up, right? I hope y'all don't qualify for the group stage. I hope y'all don't qualify for the group stage. I'm telling y'all, man, because the way they did this thing is shameful. It is shameful. It is shameful. Very sneaky and devilish. Ghanaians elites, man, and politicians. At least Nigerians can tell you, you know what? I don't like you openly. But Ghanaians, oh my God. Oh, they stab you in the back 50 times, man. You won't even know who stabbed you. Next person.
God damn.
All right, man. I gotta pass the mic, man. I gotta pass the mic. Go ahead, Kato. Go ahead, Kato.
Yo, what's up to the panel? Peace to the panel. Alafia, Dinus. I'm not trying to be controversial. Like I get exactly where Bang is coming from.
You too late for that, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I get where Bang is coming from with how like Ghana's been duplicitous and kind of like backhanded with its Pan-African moves, but also I feel like this conversation is not based on the data, the texts, and the interviews out there. Like I'm pretty sure nobody read the actual resolution, because the resolution is sponsored and endorsed by all of those 3 countries that you named.
Why
like
would
Niger.
Why would you be pretty sure we didn't read it? I'm sorry, I cut you off. My bad.
I'm just saying that you're
I apologize.
You're using the AES in a way that contrasts the resolution, the AES has endorsed the resolution. Like, I would strongly advise people to read the resolution. It was endorsed by the AU, so multiple African countries did support it. It was supported by the Black Caucus, so Black Americans in America supported it, and it was endorsed by CARICOM. So across all of Black Africandom or Negritude, whatever, there are multiple people who support it. So it's a lie to pretend like Ghana just came out of nowhere with this. And specifically in 2025, the AU designated it as like the year of justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparations. So I don't know why anybody's surprised that the year after the African Union said it's the year of justice and reparations, they're asking for reparations. I think like a lot more people should read on what's like actually going, how this came about. And for African Americans, I think it's like a waste of our time to be pissy about the situation. We should be organizing, getting centralized so that we could be a
Ain't
part of the
nobody
table no
organizing
matter.
with no faggot like you though.
Anyway,
Oh,
so like, yeah, we
yeah,
could
hey,
be.
y'all,
Come
hold
on, man.
on.
Come
Hold on,
on, man.
hold on, guys, stop. Toto, we're not tonight, bro. Not Toto, you gotta apologize, man. We're not doing it tonight.
I'm
You gotta
just being
apologize.
honest. I'm just being
Nah,
honest.
dude,
Ain't no
Toto.
black man
We gotta.
is gonna organize with a homosexual. Well, I'll take the faggot word back. Ain't no black man gonna organize with no homosexual. Not no straight black man.
You're the only emotional dude on the panel right now.
But
Let's
I'll
get back
wait
to
my turn
logic.
though. Excuse me for interjection. I'll
Let's
wait my
get back
turn.
to
Go ahead.
being
No,
calm.
but hold on. But Toto, can you apologize for calling him the
I
F
just said,
word?
I take the faggot back and say no black man will organize with a homosexual. That's just facts.
I just think that's a crazy thing to say to somebody
Oh,
who's
okay.
just been logical, and you started yelling in the panel out of nowhere. I don't know
True.
you. So maybe something internally in you's triggered. You sounding kind of down low right now. But
Right.
back to what I was saying. So like Ghana's bringing this conversation to an international level with the United Nations. Multiple people have supported the resolution. Instead of African Americans like shying away from the situation, we need to use this as an opportunity to practice our diplomacy and figure out how we could be also active in this. Because other people have said that a lot of the burden has been on the descendant of slaves. So if a lot of the burden has been on the descendant of slaves and African countries are taking up the mantle, now is the time for that difficult conversation of
Can I
responsibility, accountability, what's owed to who, and how we're going to do this together. That's all I
can I
got to
ask
say.
you a question? Can I ask you a
Go
question?
ask your question.
How
I'm
is guys?
gonna pass the
Sorry.
Toto.
Okay,
Ask your question.
How are
Ask
we
your question.
supposed to? Well, how are we like you? Basically, you're telling us to partner with these shicey people. Why on earth would you say that?
I mean,
you literally said that. It makes no sense to me.
reparations, you were gonna have to get them from shiesty. Like, I don't know what's this. Like, certain people who don't understand how like international politics works. There's no one who's not shiesty at an international level. There's
I'm not
no
saying that. What I'm
non-shiesty president.
hold on, but you missed something when you came up and you said, African Americans. So I know where you're coming from with that in regards to how they are responding to Ghana's push towards the United Nations. We all talked about what Ghana's relationship is to the transatlantic slave trade. They participated. Why would they be the party to push this? Of all the African nations that could have stood up and did this, why would we be cool with Ghana doing it? And you sit here and say we should partner with these same people. Basically, they're trying to benefit. They're trying to get the bag twice on the same transaction. The people they sold, they got a bag from, and now they're trying to get a bag because these people were abused after being sold, and we want to get a bag for that too. Come on, man, stop.
True. Don't
I
you
think
see
people
he
make
thinks
like
like a
arguments for
conniving female?
themselves.
He
Wait, though,
thinks like a
because
conniving
that's
female.
not what I said at
Oh,
all.
Hold on. Let Kato answer. I gotta read the super chat, then I'll pass it to Toto.
All right, do you want to read the super chat first? And I can just wait.
Go ahead. I'll read it after you. No one interrupt him. Go ahead.
Okay. Like at the beginning of what I said before, I said that the AU, CARICOM, and also all three of those AES countries endorsed and sponsored the resolution. This isn't something that only belongs to Ghana. This isn't something that's only going to Ghana. It is being led by Ghana. And I completely agree about the hypocrisy. Like a lot of these countries, Nigeria, Ghana, Benin, sold slaves. So it's like, how do we figure out who actually, gets reparations, who's actually damaged, who's in power right now, and is the descendant of a king who sold slaves? Like that is a real conversation we need to have. But stepping away from this table is only gonna take away power from us.
All right, let me read the super chat. Tarhaka 3897. Thank you for the $2 holla. The AES is the new black. All right, go ahead, D Toto Kisser.
First thing first, man, shout out to your platform. Appreciate you giving, people a chance to talk, man, because, you go on these different platforms, they don't let you talk and they block you, they mute you. So, people need to pay homage to what you do and how you let people go to your emails, man. I mean, your website and check out what you got going on, shirts or whatever. Not even they don't have the money to buy tours, get tours. They can, support in some type of way, man. We need to keep, because you're one of the last people that have these type of platforms, man. Maybe you and Carla are probably the last two that's doing it like this, where you let people up here to talk what they believe in. But you know what I'm saying? Even though you accept everybody on your platform, I don't care what nobody says. No homosexual man can talk anything about black unity and black revolution. Ain't nail black man, I don't care how y'all sit up here and talk. Maybe y'all ain't as brash as I am, but a homosexual black man is the enemy of black people, period. You get what I'm saying? And these motherfuckers play, and y'all think the Africans come over here and play up to white people? These homosexual black men are the goddamn right hand of white supremacy, directly and indirectly. And I tell you what, go over there to their platform. Go over there to their platforms. Go over there to their platform and try to go over there and tell them what to do and how to be gay and how they should act and whatever. Y'all sit up there and accept that faggotry shit. You get what I'm saying? Talking about numbers and statistics. How about you talk about numbers and statistics about HIV? How about you do some statistics about your HIV rate? But y'all fucking faggots running around here don't know what y'all want to be, dressing up like women. Sit up here weighing goddamn pocketbooks and motherfucking 38-inch backwood yakking in your head, bro. Nobody don't pay attention, but I'll continue.
We're having a
lot. But nobody. You can hear it all in your voice, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got Krispy Kreme all in the back of your throat, boy.
You're the only one
you get what I'm saying?
Now, and so
I'll continue what I said. First of all, none of y'all fuck with the Fulani's and they goddamn malnutrition, skinny ass cows, bro. Let them roam them dirt roads in the goddamn streets. You know what I'm saying? Don't fuck with my Fulani homeboys. You get what I'm saying? Let them do their thing. You know what I'm saying?
Let him talk, man. Let him talk.
Are you still talking shit?
I'm not gonna let him talk and pretend like I'm gay for 5 minutes.
But you homosexual. Leave alone. Come on, leave alone, bro.
You a female.
You need to talk about something real. We don't want to hear your gay monologue.
Your voice, boy.
Nobody wants to hear your gay rap.
Take all them extra S's off your voice, boy.
Nobody's talking about gay people right now.
You
so
gay
what? So what? So what? This is a free platform. You can express your feelings.
No, he's not gonna get on this platform and pretend like I'm
you ain't gonna tell me what to do.
He not using N-word.
How the fuck you think you can tell me what to do on somebody else's platform?
I'm doing what I'm doing.
All right. I'm gonna just interrupt you. Hold on. Toto Kisser, let's get to the topic. Let's go.
Yeah, dead ass. So you doing what I said exactly?
Oh Lord.
Slow your roll, player. Slow your roll, man.
There ain't nothing to play about homosexual, bro. Let's get to the point. Now let's get to the topic of the conversation.
That's exactly what I'm saying. He keeps bringing up gay people. He got dick on his mind.
Listen, it doesn't matter, man.
Goblin, bro.
Be proud of yourself, player.
You're a clean warrior.
Guys, let's get to the topic.
Dynasty. Let me tell this dude to stop pushing his gay fantasies on me.
Okay. I don't care about your sexuality. Straight, whatever. Toto, get to the topic. Let's go.
I got you. You get what I'm saying? So, now when we talk about what happened, like Dinah said, this is a whole bunch of symbolism. You know, at the end of the day, black people do what they do. You know what I'm saying? We'll just glorify yard dogs. That's all we are, glorified yard dogs. We sit up there, but the gate is wide open. You get what I'm saying? To lead the yard and go, you know what I'm saying, make somebody give you something for your vote. That's not black people. Black people bark. Every 2 years, master let them out the backyard, bring them in the front yard. They bark. Then after 2 years, they go back. You get what I'm saying? They don't ask for nothing and complain. And then once master put them back in the backyard, what do dogs do? They start fighting each other. That's what we do as black people. You get what I'm saying? We have a few selective. You get what hell, I'm one of them that made it out, but majority of black people are professional employees. You know, don't get me wrong. Now they talk about the African space. No, there's no Pan-African over there. That's Black Americans' fault that was reaching out to them. It was Black American fault to going over there talking about they need help. They need for them. Let me tell you something. They don't want their shit to change. Now, if you want to go over there and give them some money, you want to hire them, you want to help them, but don't go over there telling them about, you know what I'm saying, how you go over there and go to a restaurant and instead of them got a bathroom with washcloths and soap and rags and stuff. And they don't want to do that. They want to wash their hands at the table with cold water and a goddamn pitcher. That's what they want to do. Don't go over there and do that. So it was us going over there, getting over there, kissing that nasty ass ground, talking about we feel home, talking about you got some spirit connection, going over there to them slave dungeon, touching the wall, and you sitting up there shaking and pissing on yourself like a stripper. You know what I'm saying? That's what Black Americans, because we the ones extra with that bullshit. But I swear to white Jesus with his curly hair and his six pack, if my mama brought her ass out the grave and said that they said, you know what, for your mama to come out the grave and live a full life, to go to a slave dungeon.
Stop.
Hold on, Daddies. Just hold on. Just give me 2 seconds, bro. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds in a chicken sandwich. If my mama came out the ground right now and they said, if y'all go to the slave dungeon together, she can live a full life. I'll find 12 of the biggest bricks I could find and dump them on her motherfucking head, because you can trick me. You can goddamn kidnap me. You can blind me and get me to go in a slave dungeon and pay more money than the people that live in the country. They charge us more. Hold on, let me use my inside voice. You charge the people that was enslaved. You charge the people that was enslaved more money than go to the slave dungeon. Go see the point of no return, the door of no return, and black people sitting up there rubbing the wall and hutching the goddamn wall and shit. You know what I'm saying? Falling out like they catching the Holy Ghost in Sunday church. That's black people's fault. I don't blame Africans. I don't blame Africans for seeing a goddamn big, gigantic Black American sucker. A big goddamn Black American lollipop.
I blame Ghanaian. I blame African.
No, you didn't. Now, let me tell you something. Let me tell you why I don't blame Ghanaians. Hold on for a second, my brother. Let me tell you why I don't blame Ghanaians. Because Black Americans claim we're the smartest. We claim we're the best. We raised up under the white man system. We know all the tricks. We know all the games. We know it all because we told y'all, and we know everything because we know everything. Didn't I tell you? What I tell you? Fuck around and find out. But all of a sudden, we go over there to Africa and get to roll around in that hot-ass, goddamn, stiff-ass dirt. That dirt ain't the same over there. That dirt been caking up for 6 months in dry season. That shit is different. I tell you what, go over there in Africa, try to kick the goddamn dirt up in the air. Boy, you might blind yourself. That shit sharp as fuck. That ain't the same dirt we got over here in America. You can't make no motherfucking sand castles with that dirt over there. With that dirt over there in Africa, you can make motherfucking bricks with that shit. You can build a motherfucking house with that dirt over there. It ain't the same. And you know what? The funny part about what I'm saying is all 100% facts. That's the funny part. So I blame us. I blame us for being so smart in America. We got them. I wish a black person would. I wish a nigger would. We know all the games. And we go over there in Africa and leave all that aside and want to sit up there and eat goddamn motherfucking grilled bush meat and some motherfucking spicy ass
What's wrong
rice.
with grilled bush meat? What's wrong with grilled bush meat? I like grilled bush
Bruh,
meat.
if they did not hang that shit up in the market in 103-degree temperature with 64 mosquitoes and 24 gangster flies that about the size of cockroaches. No motherfucking mosquito. Let me explain something to y'all again. Them mosquitoes and flies don't run from you. They look at you dead in your face. You know what I'm saying? Especially the mosquitoes with malaria. They want you to slap them. They
Wait,
want
what's
you
your
to slap
opinion
them
on
and kill them.
reparations?
Because your ass gonna be up in the hospital talking about soon and very soon. Lord help me. Malaria is rampant over there. You're gonna have to get drips. You're gonna have to take tablets and not that Tylenol, ibuprofen. You're gonna get that subcontract bottom market, some shit that gonna come in a plastic bag about the size of a Ziploc with one tablet that smells like goddamn gator bait. That's what you're gonna get. So,
Wait, but what's your
hold on, this
opinion
last
on the
time. Now, hey,
reparations
10 seconds. The last thing that I would tell black people is that if you reach out to them the same way, one thing is true. The way that we accept Africans, just not just black people, just the society accept black Africans, they don't accept us like that. I'm not saying that they don't like us, they just don't accept us like that. They don't have no forum like that. That ain't something that they teach. Now you walk up to them, you want to buy something, they'll sell you something. You know the price might go up triple 3 times, but it's still gonna be cheaper than what you get in America. But what I'm saying is don't look for how we accept them as the way they accept us. But that doesn't mean they hate us. And that's all I'm gonna say. You get what I'm saying? You can't expect, I tell my daughter this all the time. If you're a good natured person and you'll give somebody the shirt off your back, don't get mad at you if they won't give you a sock. That doesn't mean they don't like you. They just ain't raised up like that. They don't have the same common decency that you have. It don't make them bad person. They might came from I tell my daughter, your friends might came from a house where they had to write their names on the goddamn peanut butter and write their names on cups. They might have to hide their snacks under their bed. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, you don't have to do that in my house. You get what I'm saying? But they had to live like that. So they coming from that type of level. In America, it's nobody that can be homeless or broke. It's a choice in America. It is no kids walking around on the street. If you see a kid walking down the street at 9 o'clock at night and they look between 7 to 8 years old, even the most roughest killer will pull over and stop and be like, hey, where you going? You know what I'm saying? Call somebody. They'll be on their way to go kill somebody. And they'll stop if they see a child because that's not the norm in America. But you go to Africa, you see kids walking around butt-ass naked, out there kicking goddamn soccer balls made out of plastic and goddamn bowls and shit. So what they do?
How's it smart?
What? Go ahead, man.
Them kids are not homeless though. They do have parents though. It's just their parents just don't care about them. Like when it's nighttime, then they're supposed to come in.
I mean, hell, they ain't opening the door. They sleeping out there with the pigs and the chickens and the stray goats.
Are we gonna
You
go
get what
back
I'm
to the
saying?
reparations conversation?
Hey, guys, let me read the super chat. I gotta pass the mic. Charcoal Block, thank you for 999 holla. Africans and Caribbeans deep down knows that Black Americans have garnered the most traction regarding reparations, and they run in on the energy they couldn't create on their own. All right, go Chizomo, go ahead. Unmute yourself, Chizomo.
Man, How's it smart is funny.
Hello, thank you everyone. Thanks for letting me in to speak. Been listening from the beginning. The first question that Dynasty came up with when he started was, we've got this resolution, is it just symbolism? And now that we've got this, what's next? But this discussion that has followed after that is a completely different discussion. And we often talk about they lied to us, they misled us, they did this to us, they said this to us, they said this about us. But then listening to this conversation, it looks like we are continuing with the misinformation and misleading each other, and not really answering the question that Dynasty has asked. Is it symbolism or is it anything to go with what happened with this declaration? Now, symbolism and declaration are two different things. We've had so many declarations from the UN. They all hold water. Nobody has disputed that they're nothing. Why are we saying that this one is nothing? It doesn't mean anything. Secondly, I keep hearing Ghana this, Ghana that, Ghana this, Ghana that. It wasn't a Ghana declaration. Mahama is representing the AU. He is the one who is tasked at the AU to champion the declaration and the reparations. The declaration is not the reparation, is not the request for reparation. It's just a question to say, were these crimes or not? That's what the question was. And the UN answered, it was crimes against humanity. And the gravest of them all, meaning whatever we've heard about the Jews and the whoever's, all these other ones, this is the gravest. That's all they were answering. So once the declaration has been made, that's when the question becomes, what happens next? So as far as people are concerned, what happens next is the reparation, So he's going to come back again and then explain what happens after, or AU will come back and explain what happens after, now that they've got the declaration for everybody to accept that they were crimes against humans. And which humans? Whoever was enslaved at that point, including whoever is affected to this day about it. So when we talk the way we're talking at the moment, Ghana this did this, oh, this and that, it's like we're supporting America, who said no, Israel, who said no, it's not a crime, and what's the other one? Argentina, who said no, that it wasn't a crime. It's like we're supporting that argument to say, actually, the Ghanaians did this to us, Africans sold us, this one did that, this one did that, oh, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. Why is Ghana coming with this? Why is Africa? Oh, they want to take the money. They can actually use all those arguments to then say, no, you see, that's why we can't pay the reparations. But at the same time, we're saying we want the reparations. So how do we put the evidence together? It's all about evidence at the end of the day. Why should we pay reparations? What's the evidence? So if we are saying, no, we are the ones who did it against ourselves, what's the point then for claiming reparations if we are the ones who did it?
Quick question.
Sorry?
Go ahead. I apologize. No, I was going to ask a question, but you're still keep talking.
It's about providing evidence. Once you start talking against the evidence and giving evidence to support those who are saying no reparations, there is no need to pay. It was legal then, so we can't pay because it was legal. Was it not legal when when it was happening to the Jews? Was it not legal when it was happening to the Asians? Was it not legal when it was happening to the Irish? It was. But at the end of the day, all it means is all that has been overturned. All that, like laws when they are passed, all those discrimination laws we had during slavery, we had in between, we have had now, most of them have been abolished because they were not justiciable. So now we're looking for justice. So you have to explain, were these crimes or not? So everybody, the majority have now agreed that they were crimes and they are still crimes. Because at the end of the day, slavery hasn't really stopped. It's still happening. But this is about that time, right? So if we start ourselves providing evidence as to why reparations should not be paid, because it was not them, because it was the law, because it was the Ghanaians, because it was the dungeons. In fact, the dungeons are the evidence that it happened.
Yeah, but I have a
The
question for you,
evidence is
the
there.
Darjan. Can I ask
Sorry?
you? Can I ask you about the Darjan, the slave Darjan?
Yes, yes.
So my question is, yeah, what Ghana is doing, it makes sense. But why would Ghanaian use the slave Darjan to be exploiting the African American,
That's
taking
not
money
what I'm
from their to
addressing now. I'm addressing about the declaration.
Yeah, but
That is a
that's what I'm saying.
completely
That's why
different thing.
my focus is there. I'm not against what he did to United Nations, but you can't play the game on the both sides. You can't claim that you're Pan African at the same time you're exploiting your black, you know, black immigrant that are
Where
going to
did they
Ghana.
say they're Pan-African?
Ghana always try to put themselves on the forefront. They are Pan African country. They're number
But
one Pan African
they're
country.
not going to UN as Ghana. They're going to UN as Africa Union.
Yeah, but Ghana should first start from their home country and stop exploiting people,
Yeah,
start
so you
taking
can
money
address
from
that
people
with
from the
them.
slave
At
Darjan.
the moment, the issue is about this crime against humanity.
Yeah, I understand that, Miss. I
Together by
definitely,
AU.
I'm in support of that. Nobody is disputing that the fact. When they feed, no matter how things works, they're gonna be gonna be some opposition to whatever that you're doing. That's normal. That's the reality, right? The FBA may be 1% of the African Americans, but again, we also have to question the intention behind what Ghana is doing, right? If Ghana claimed to be Pan-African country, why would they be taking money from the African American returnee to be taking money from them to basically slave the origin?
I've no
That should be
details
free,
about
or they should give the money back to the African American
I've
because you
no
cannot
details.
play the game like that. You
CD, let
can't be
her
exploiting.
answer. CD, let her answer the question. Go ahead.
All right,
So,
sure.
I got to pass the mic
I
to
have
Jay.
no details about what they do with the money. I don't know. I don't know how much they charge. I've never been. But they've maintained them from that time to this point. It costs money as well. But as to what they do with the money, I don't know. How much they get from it, I don't know. It's something that needs to be addressed with Ghana itself. That's why I'm saying us talking about things that we know nothing about and going on about them and misinforming each other without getting the true facts. If you want me to get the information, I can get it for you. But we need to be basing things on facts, not assumptions, what we think is happening or what might be happening. Find out what is happening before you start making accusations. And if it's wrong, you need to address the right authorities. Ask the right authorities, get the information from the right authorities, just like the AU has done this point. They've gone to the right institution to get that declaration because nobody else can issue it except them, and it will be accepted because it's from UN. Whether America and all these three have said no, and like Badnock from UK is arguing over UK as to why they abstained and not saying no, because she understands the difference. The moment you don't say no, you are saying go ahead with what you need to do. So we've only got three people who've objected. Even those who've objected, they know the truth. They know the truth. And they
Well,
know
yeah, I
what
understand
Okay,
that.
let me go ahead. I got to pass the mic. Go ahead.
Yeah, everybody know what happened was we know definitely the president of Argentina, he's Jewish. Definitely he's going to vote along with Israel, right? That makes sense, and we know the reality. But the fact is, if Ghana want to fight as a Pan-African country and show the image of the
it's
other
not
part of the
Ghana. Stop
world,
saying Ghana.
they
Talk
should
about AU.
start exploiting people. That's what
Talk
I'm
about
talking
the
So
about.
which country
AU.
would
When
you
So,
it
want to
comes to the
represent? Just ask.
declaration, go
Really,
to
so
which country would you
AU.
want to represent?
this
Just
is
say.
this is the bigger platform. You are working on this platform. This platform
But
is
which
where you
country
can
is it? You don't
express
like
yourself.
Ghana doing it. So who do you want there to be? That's the thing. Because
I'm
you're just
not
saying
saying that Ghana should not do it. I want
Hey,
to
why you
Ghana,
have a
guys,
Ghana.
because
problem with it. That's the thing.
we
Just
got to close out.
problem with
Hold on a
Africa.
minute.
Hold on,
Hold on a
Gisoma. You
minute.
got
Just one
Gisoma. You got
second.
hold on, Gisoma. You got 30 seconds. I got to pass the mic to Jay.
Yeah.
30 seconds. I got to pass the mic to Jay.
If let's say if AU's person, representative, was, let's say, a Malawian president, he is the one who would have gone there, not Ghana. So it's not about Ghana, it's about AU. They sent their representative, who happened to be the president of Ghana. It could have been any president within Africa they would have sent. So that argument about why are they calling themselves Pan-African, I can't answer you. I'm not even Ghanaian. I don't know what goes on there.
But let me say this real quick. I would tell you the reason why this is the Ghanaian president.
I gotta pass the mic to Jay. Go ahead, Jay. Unmute yourself, Jay.
Yeah, I like what the lady just said there. She pretty concise, and she kind of went into some details that a lot of us, we just kind of brushing over and just talking from emotion, and she kind of really cleared up a lot of stuff. So I really respect what she said. And then, thanks, Dinus, for bringing me up and being willing to hear different points of view, man. I got to agree with Police on that. Police, though, man.
What? You agreeing with me? You agreeing with me? Oh, my God. It must be close to Easter. It must be close to white Jesus' resurrection.
Police. Look, the stuff you be saying, I be laughing, man. I ain't gonna lie. But the only thing I try to figure out is it coming from a place of like you want to see better, or is it like you're just joking, like it's never gonna change or something, like? But it'd be like funny, but I don't agree with it, but it'd be like kind of get me chuckling, man.
No, I'll tell you, just 2 seconds. I look at us like a business. If we say the U.S. government, if we say that our Social Security numbers is a part of the treasury, all black people say that. If our Social Security is a part of the treasury, that means that the government is running human beings like product, like an investment. And if you look at the black race, take the black people, take all the emotion, take all the soon and very soon, fix it, Jesus, won't he do it, black girl magic and kings and queens, take all that rhetoric fuck shit out and look at the black race as a business. Look at our pros and our cons. And if you were sitting back, as smart as you is, J.A., would you invest in the black race? And you got all these other race of people and you put all their pros and cons, take all the emotions out of it, would you invest in that society?
I would.
Oh my God.
And this is the thing. I wanted to ask that question.
You must got money to waste.
I wanted to ask a similar question to Dinus, because all the negatives, we know they're negatives. In every society, there are going to be negatives and positives, right? But Dinus goes over to Africa, and is he having a different experience than you're having, or what's happening there?
Dinus is the exception to the rule. When Dinus go to Africa, he goes over there as a businessman. He going over there to run a business.
Okay.
It ain't leisure for Dinus. Dinus ain't over there playing. Dinus got his shirt off, bringing the goddamn tray of French fries out there on the beach with some strips and some garlic butter sauce. Dinus ain't playing.
Hustle smart, man. Don't get surprised one of these days, man, when he brings some of these Atlanta, male strippers somewhere in Africa.
Hey, pause.
Yeah, but,
oh my God, man.
I think the lady kind of.
Hustle smart, man. You funny, man. I gotta give it to you, man.
I think the lady was, because the thing is, sometimes I hear people talking and I be like, I don't know, everybody can see things from their perspective, but it's like they can't see the other person's point, and it's like you're kind of talking in circles a lot of times to me, like earlier.
Yep, that is correct.
Like
either way,
Bishop
right?
Earlier, he's saying, "Oh, Africans come over here, they don't deal with us, they don't respect us, blah blah blah." But like, I'm trying to figure out sometimes, what do people want? Do they want like people to just kiss your ass because you're
that's what black Americans want, J.A. They want you to come over there and kiss. They want you to kiss their ass like African parents want their kids to kiss their ass, fall down to the knees if you give them 4 puff. That's the way that black Americans sit on the block at the Quick Trip, at the BP gas station, the Shell gas station to hang out and want Africans to come over there and kiss their ass. Let me tell you something, J.A. I'll say this one thing and get a mic back to you. If Africans came over here and started acting like hood booger gutter monkeys, and you know what I'm saying, and acting like these big husky hyenas, these Stacey Abrams stunt doubles, Black Americans wouldn't have a problem with them. And I give the mic back to you, Paul.
But this is the thing too. Like again, too, Simp. Even that is like, even to me, at least, I mean, that statement is a contradiction in itself. Like what you just said, because to me, a Stacey Abrams, you might not agree with her politics, right? But as far as I can tell, she's an upstanding citizen. I don't see.
She's smart. I like Stacey Abrams.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, but then you're saying a hood booger, and then you mention a Stacey Abrams. So
Well,
like,
I use Stacey Abrams like as a fat chick. Instead of saying husky hyena, Stacey Abrams is the new AKA for husky hyena. That's it. I like Stacey Abrams. She's smart. I just wish she would go for Black people the same way they run behind these Latinos. Like these chicks is going to Latinos prisons. They going across country for the Latinos. They out there getting beat up. They out there, they out there getting beat up and arrested for Latinos.
Hold on, though. But 1 second. In Stacey Abrams, the thing that Dinus played earlier is that, you know, like sometimes I feel like people want all or nothing. And in American politics is never all or nothing. Because Stacey Abrams in her thing that Dinus played says what it is.
But did you see the forum? Did you see the forum she was in, John?
Huh?
Did you see the forum she was in?
No, but it doesn't matter.
It does matter. It does matter, Ja. It does matter. It's just like when Martin Luther King was standing on the Capitol. Hold on, Bang. It's just like when MLK was standing on the Capitol steps and he was talking about little black boys and little black girls, we shall overcome. But then when he started talking about he brought us into a burning house, he did that in a little small ass church with nobody around and one single reporter. When he was up there telling us to integrate, go out there, get your ass whooped, and let a goddamn racist police stick a baton in your ass, pause for peace. He did that on the broad scales with 162 cameras with 300 countries looking at it. But when he was sitting up there talking about he might have brought us in the burning church, it was one little bootleg reporter and him in a church. It does matter, the forum. And I pass the mic back to you.
But okay, let me ask you a question, Sim, just to clarify. What forum was she speaking in? What forum was she speaking, making that statement in? What forum was it? Did Sim drop down?
I can hear you.
Yeah. He dropped out. Let me say this real quick, right? Hold on. Let me say this real quick, right? You see, what people gotta understand is this, right? Like, you know, the AU, half of it, it's sponsored by the European Union, right? The other gun organization that's in the Caribbean, it's sponsored by the European Union as well. So if the same people that sponsor your organization, and then they voted to opt out of so-called slavery is the biggest crime to humanity. How is it like? How can we take this organization serious when it's not being funded truly by Black people around the world independently? That's what I don't understand. It's the same thing with these so-called Black Democrats, right? Black Democrats who funded their campaigns, corporations. When you look at the corporations, they not Black owned, they white owned. So how can they, you know what I'm saying, like trying to get the benefit of your people? That's sometimes I don't understand though. I mean, if I fund your politician, I'm funding them for my own personal gain. I'm not funding them because they Black and they talk just like you, or they can relate to your struggle. No, I'm funding them because I want to control them so they can get me what I want. I mean, the AAU, everybody knows who control the AAU. Everybody knows who control the ECOWAS. Everybody knows that. You can't come out here and tell me African control ECOWAS, African control the AU. No.
That's why they abstained. That's why they abstained.
Yeah, but they didn't want to fund the same organization. Why you think all that was the distraction?
Bang. I know what I'm saying next is going to lead you to be like, you're going to disagree with me, and that's fine. But I don't think that the AU and all that's controlled by any outside organization, because if they were, why would they bring this resolution up? why not just not talk about it?
A good question.
You know,
That's why I
if
said
someone controls them, why just
hold
say,
on.
hey, don't even
Good
let it
question.
go to a vote. Just say, hey, look, don't even bother bringing that up, man.
Okay. First of all, right? Look at the union, right? The so-called United Union, right? Africans does not have a veto vote. So technically, we nothing. We don't have a veto vote. We nothing.
Yeah, but
In the
African
same
countries
organization.
are not.
No,
look.
No, I'm just giving you the reality of it. Forget about
We
all these. We the
voted.
people around the world. We around the people around the world. United Nations is nothing nowadays. I'm telling you the truth. It's nothing.
African countries
No,
voted, included AU.
Hey, guys, we got to close out. Everyone, thanks so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe, and read this last super chat. Mustafa, thank you for $2 holla. City hating on Ghana is crazy. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror, search for Huru. Peace.